Y se puede tomar la molestia de pedir perdón, regresar. Good evening, brothers. I hope you're all well today. It's a fine day above dirt, in my opinion. I apologize for the. Oh shit! I got this music still on. Anyways, last night when I was driving along, I was talking to Indy and Hemi, and Indy asked me a question that I really didn't have a good answer for. So, what's up, Ghost, Ape, Outlaw? Welcome. I'm glad you brothers are here. Indy was talking to me, and he was asking, "What is a monk?" And Hemi got in on the conversation too. It's like, what is a monk? You know, are we like the Shaolin or any of those guys? And I got to thinking about that today. What exactly is a monk? So, oh, hey, Matt, Hermit, uh, welcome, welcome. And today's stream is going to be about what is a monk. And if you guys aren't monk, then this will probably be boring for you. But if you are a monk, I'm going to open it up after I have a little bit of a say. Uh, I did some research today, and I found things that I kind of aspire to. That as a MGTOW monk, we don't take any type of a vow. So we have to live our virtues. We have to have our morals, ethics. That all has to come from within, because we're not promising anything to God. We have to promise it to ourselves to make ourselves better people. Yes, Indy, you're grabbing a beer, and you're the inspiration for this stream. So welcome, welcome. And Schlitz, just don't let Indy grab you. That would be kind of embarrassing. Sometimes he gets a little grabby. And welcome, Absolute Knowledge Seeker. And you're working for another couple hours. Bummer. This isn't going to be a very long stream, so I think I'll just get into my monologue. I'm going to stop looking at the chat here and look at my notes. So, if you're saying something to me, I'll read it a little later after I finish the monologue. If I can get the right damn button. Okay. Now, there's some things that I would like to live my life. I would like to be kind and temperate and charitable, have self-control, be diligent, humble, and patient. Okay? And here's some things I want to keep out of my life: pride, greed, lust, wrath, gluttony, which is my biggest one, envy, and sloth. Okay? So, for those of you who are more the religious bent, you will understand that I have just listed the 7 deadly sins and their counteracting virtues. So that is kind of where I am in my monk thinking as to what the types of virtues that I want to extol. Because for each one of the negatives out there, you have a positive that counteracts it. And this has been, a matter of thought for almost 1,400 years, because the 7 deadly sins came out from Pope Gregory in the year 600. So that's how long people have been thinking about this type of behavior. And these shouldn't really be looked at as sins, because I personally don't believe in organized religion. That's why I'm not going to be taking any vows and joining any orders or anything like that. But if you run into somebody who's envious, or if you find envy in yourself, because all good growth comes from within, you can get rid of that envy by replacing it with kindness. Okay? And um, for example, one of the reasons I don't go after, uh, we'll leave that for another time. All right. If you place your desire to help other people above the need to supersede them, you can get rid of envy from your life. And I'm a deeply flawed person. I know this from years of experience of having lived with myself. And, I know that I have lots of work to do to improve myself as a person. And one of the things I've always tried to be, and I've not been completely successful, is kind, and having a little bit of empathy for my fellow man. Now, then there's something that Chris Mitchell is really good at, and that's charity. And charity counteracts greed, and it does this when you put the desire to help others above starting, to accumulate wealth for yourself. A lot of times, I know that it feels better for me to give than it does to get. As people ask me on Christmas time, what do you want? What do you want? And I don't want really anything. You know, I say I say things that are not material. Like I had a fiance once, and she kept, "What do you want for your birthday? What do you want for your birthday?" And she felt she had to give me a present. And one of the things she didn't do was she didn't give me blowjobs. So I said, "I want a blowjob for my birthday." And it turned out that that by her giving that gift of to me of sucking my cock, she found out she really liked sucking dick. And I wish things had gone differently with her, but they didn't. All right. Then self-control. Self-control is what most people think about when they think about the MGTOW monk, because that's the chastity part of it. We don't, interact with females in a sexual nature anymore. And that saves us from so much usury, as Hammer's Hand likes to call it. And it's a great name for what goes on. And it's probably the most important virtue of a MGTOW monk is the chastity, because it allows us to go and improve ourselves in other ways without having to worry about the gynocentrism that would otherwise pervert our lives. But it, if we get control of our bodies, we can take that passion that we were using to get punani and turn that into a positive for ourselves and the people around us. We can be passionate about other things, your hobbies, or working out at the gym, or losing weight, or cooking beautiful, good tasting, healthy meals. Uh, or just painting or writing poetry or whatever you floats your boat, climbing mountains like Rad does, or getting bigger arms like Hermit does, whatever, you get passionate about, you can, just like Floyd Merriweather, he doesn't get with women before he fights. So he can channel all that passion that he has and, make himself pure. Um, Diligence. Lots of modern people are quite lazy, in my opinion. I've never really had a problem with not working hard. Um, but if you're diligent and you just are strong with your mind and think I am going to do this, that, and the other thing to get my work done, to make my commitments for the day, whether those commitments are to yourself or to somebody else at work, or whatever, as long as you are a man of your word and do what you're supposed to do and do what you do and do what you say and say what you do, then you will counteract the slothfulness. Humility. Here's one I have problems with too. By being humble, you cure your pride. At work, I always wanted to be the first to get the answer. I always wanted my answer to be the best answer that was utilized. I always prided myself, and I thought that was a virtue on being able to solve problems other people couldn't solve in the engineering world. And I did. I solved some pretty fucking hairy problems. Um, most of the time I used simple scientific principles, usually material principles, to solve problems with electronics and integration of systems, electronic systems in aerospace vehicles. But and I took pride in that when I should have been humble, and I shouldn't have made other people feel bad to make myself feel better. I was, proud of myself, and I was like, haha, look what I can do. I have such a big fucking brain. And it was, it's not a good way to go through life. You don't make any friends that way. And, that's no good. And then patience. When I was a young man, I really didn't have much patience, but when I became a father, I learned patience. It's the only way my children survived. But patience cures wrath. And I had a huge amount of wrath in my soul for a long time after my first divorce. And after my ex-wife brought a little monster into her home that was raping my daughter, I had to leave the country because I was afraid of my own wrath. And I don't think that I would have been very good in prison. Sometimes I regret not acting on that wrath, but still, I'm glad to this day that I decided to move out of the country to reduce my ability to act on the wrath that was eating me up from the inside out. And I learned that you don't have to forgive someone. And you don't have to say everything's okay to get peace within yourself. I know that, judgment is coming for that bitch. So I just have to wait and let that judgment come. So patience cures wrath by taking time to understand the needs and desires of others before acting or speaking. So when we start our flame wars here, please show a little patience first. Think about what the other guy's saying, and if it's still wrong and it still pisses you off, nuke them. But you don't have to if you don't want to. As Chronic says, don't feed the trolls. All right. Now, here is some things that come out of Ecclesiastes. Those of you who are familiar with the Bible will know where these come from. If you're not, it's still ancient wisdom. Here's things to avoid: a proud look, a lying tongue, hands that shed innocent blood, a heart that devises wicked plans. That was me. Feet that are swift in running to evil, a false witness who speaks lies. I think we all know who those are. And one who sows discord among brethren. And I know we've all had our fair share of people sowing discord lately. And these are just people that we should avoid. Just as I avoid women to protect myself from the gynocentric usury that's out there. We have to gatekeep and avoid those brothers amongst us who will sow discord. And I've been guilty of sowing discord as well, a little bit. And that was from me being a little bit overzealous. So, like I said, I'm a deeply flawed man, and I have a lot to work on. But these are the virtues that I would like to build up in myself: kindness, temperance, charity, chastity, diligence, humility, and patience. And I think if I get these, worked into my everyday life, I will be a better person for it. And that's who I want to be as a monk. So, those of you who wish to comment on this, I would like to, I'm going to post the invitation in the chat. I would like to invite only the monks to come and join the panel tonight if you want to come. But a little later we'll open it up to the non-monks, because most of you in here, not most of you, but some of you in here are not monks. All right, so where's that? Guests, invite guests, copy the invite, and that's the wrong button. There we go. Post the comment in the stream. Boom. Sorry, I have to talk myself through the boomer stuff. Okay. So, any monks want to come on and talk about their monkdom? Let's see what people have been writing. Lots of writing. Okay. We have Indy coming on, the man who inspired the stream with his question last night. Welcome, Indy.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening.
I'd like to state in salute to our Canadian brothers up north, I am drinking Moosehead tonight.
Ah, very good. They can drink it easier because they have flip top heads.
Well, I just was walking along and I looked up and saw it and thought about our Canadian brothers and I thought that'd be a good salute to them.
Yep.
I'm not going to comment on the taste, but hey,
Well, the moose are big animals. Wow. There's 10. Hermit says there's 10 streams going on, including his. So, what have you got any comments on?
it's I don't think monk is easy. Now,
No.
you could say that you can do without, I guess, sexual contact, if you will. But there's also a sense of, uh, to me, I don't know. You would like to be with other women and other people, but as you've stated, you try to be kind and try to be the good things, and you get shit on. And then you try to practice not being shitty about that stuff. So at least for me, just stepping out of the whole thing, just being neutral, being stoic, being on your own,
Mm-hmm.
homesteading,
Right.
because I could not be in a city or subdivision or something of like that and deal with the fuckery and not say something.
Right.
And I
Right.
the wrath. I mean, you know how easy if you're a
Oh,
hothead and you're passionate, it's easy to want to slap somebody.
oh yeah. And it's even easier on the internet to start a flame war. And AKS, I see you in the back there. And after the monks have had their say, I'll bring you on, sir. So, um, Schlitz, if you could join us. I know you've been a monk for a long time. Um, let's see who else in here is monk.
I just think that being monk is, at least for me, it's just not the sex. There's a lot of things to go with it.
Oh yeah, you have to get those monastic rhythms into your life. Okay, Matt. Oh, I think you're a monk. Timothy's a monk. Who else? So, anyways, Tim, Matt, Ape, are you a monk? I don't remember if you're a monk or not.
Yeah, I think
Ape,
Ape's a monk.
Ape's a monk. Yeah. If you guys want to join, that would be great.
Hemi's married,
Yeah.
which
AKS. Oh, and David Smith. I didn't even see you there. So, we got Matt coming on the stream.
I'm a monk.
Well, welcome, Matt. Looks like
Welcome
you're
there,
wearing
Brandon.
looks like you're wearing your monk robes.
I am.
Kind of cold up in I guess you're in Iowa tonight, right?
I'm in Michigan, actually.
Michigan.
Michigan. It's cold. It's cold in Michigan.
Well, what thoughts do you have on the virtues of a monk?
Well, my virtues, well, mine would be patience. Mine would be patience. And I
Right.
would and I would do a lot of meditation to gain my patience. Keep your eyes closed. Focus on no buildings, no streets, no neighborhoods, no traffic. And you focus on your goals.
Right.
Keep your mind empty. Be formless like water. I learned it from Bruce Lee in his movies, but not mostly his movies, but mostly his teachings. That's my virtue, patience. You just got to keep your head up above the sky and drown out the sound, the noise, the dissonance. And you got to be less afraid and less emotional. You have to stay on your own dark path to keep your eyes on the prize. Keep on going if you want to reach your goal. Now you have to understand that I wanted to do something. I wanted to do something with my life, really, is to live in a van. Live in a van, go travel. Think about what you want to do. Think about what you want to see. Think of what you want to be. Your hobbies, your likes, your dislikes. Stay on your path. Never let anyone railroad you. Not your friends, not your family members, no one. Just stay on your path. Free your mind, and your rest will follow.
Did Brandon leave?
Yeah,
Oh
of
no, there
course.
he is. There he is.
Brandon, where are you, man?
He's back.
I'm back. I'm sorry I yeeted myself.
Did you tell us off something or what?
No, AKS sent me a private chat, and I'm sorry I couldn't bring him on. But it doesn't, you know, having AKS in the monk panel really doesn't make any sense. AKS is one of my good friends, but he's definitely far from being a monk.
And I'm not saying that I would think bad of anybody not being a monk.
No,
I,
no,
I, I
there's
wish.
absolutely nothing wrong with not being a monk.
Right.
It's just, but this is a monk panel tonight.
But I do think being monk to me takes a certain mindset and a certain discipline that isn't for everyone.
No, it's not for everybody, and it's got to be a choice you make from within yourself. You know, back in medieval times, or know in ancient China or the Buddhist societies, they would send kids off to the monastery to get them out of the way, and you know we don't have to do that now. We can make a conscious choice to live the aesthetic lifestyle that we choose. If Matt wants to live in a van, Hemi and I want to have homesteads. So,
Well, I'm
it's
on a
just
homestead.
yeah,
Well,
you're on a
developing.
homestead.
Yeah, I'm
I'm
developing, and I just don't see women or very other many things out there that can benefit me. They're going to drain more energy than they're beneficial.
no, all they are is distractions.
Right.
No, absolutely. You are who you are, and this is monk mode tonight. Sorry if I have offended you, but I really consider you a good friend, and I think you'll be okay. All right, welcome Mouth Agape 8 and Schlitz to the panel.
Good evening.
Good evening. So, what are your guys' views on the virtues of a monk?
No, I think you're right on. It's some of the I think the things I have the problem with, just kind of prideful sometimes, causes me the most grief. Some of the other ones, but that's the one.
Yeah.
But
So,
no, I mean, I couldn't live my life any other way now. Uh, you know,
and you've been a monk
I
for a long time, right, Schlitz? Over 10 years, right?
no, not that long. About 6 years. About
6
six
years?
years. It's just creeping up on 6 years. I have to deal with, my ex-wife on a daily basis, which is fine. It wasn't like that at the beginning for a couple of years. I mean, it was really, really bad. But you know, it's these things, it's just one of those things. I have two kids. One he just turned 18, and the other one she just turned 12. So you have to push through all that bullshit. Otherwise, it just continues to wreak havoc on their life. And she was one of the types. She is, and one of the types of people that if I create any friction, she won't take it out on me. She'll take it out on them.
Yeah.
So it's like you got these, but that won't always be the case. You got to bide your time. So it's one of those things I can't, if I drag her back to court to, reduce the insane amount of child support I pay, along with everything else, it's it's not gonna, it's six more years I got to deal with it. It's not gonna do anything. There, it's like you're stuck. So you just make the best out of it.
Yeah.
And but the rest of my social interaction with females, I deal with them a little bit with my work. I work for myself. Most of my customers are men or married couples, so I don't really have much on that end. And I live in town, and I live in a beach community, and which I really like it here, but it's gotten really crowded. And as far as I don't go anywhere, I don't do anything. It's kind of nice, a little bit of anonymity. I don't really been here a long time, about 18 years, but you know, the people I did know, I don't know anymore, and it's kind of nice. It's almost like you're almost like being on vacation because I don't go anywhere or do anything. I don't really know any people, and I don't want to. I spend a lot of time
Yeah.
by myself. I work by myself, um, intentionally. Um, I don't, and patience is another one. I don't have a whole lot of fucking patience for the people in the construction business, which is what I've been in for a long time. I think I've gotten better, but I deal with it by not putting myself in a situation where I have to be around a lot of people. So,
Yeah. Well, Mouth Agape Ape has been trying to get on. Have you tried without your camera going, Ape? Sometimes when I have a weak signal, that gets me in where I normally couldn't go.
Yeah, I see him coming in and doing the circle thing,
So,
and then it just drops.
but I'm for once have a really good signal. I've got 4 bars, so I'm usually running off of 1 or 2 or none. At least I don't have to leave the homestead and go sit in a parking lot and worry about getting, the latest
Accosted,
policeman.
accosted by the popo.
Yeah, or the rent-a-cops. So it doesn't look like Ape is going to be able to get on tonight. I don't know.
Where is he anyway?
Damn, I was hoping he'd be able to get on because I know Ape and Doug's getting ready to get on with the railroad and stuff. And that's another thing. Individuals that have good, stable jobs and pensions that you'll get after 30 years,
What's
you can
that?
get divorced or something, and then they're in half your pension or a certain amount. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And you're paying them the rest of your life, and it's like, what the fuck?
Well,
And
I
you can't
gave
get
up.
out of it.
I gave up my savings so she wouldn't be able to get into my pension when I got divorced.
See, that was a smart and a slick thing to do. That's what I'm saying. You throw some numbers out in front of them. Hey, look what you'll get right up front. You leave that alone. They don't
Yeah.
realize that they'd get 5 times that over time. They want that
Yeah.
quick. They want that quick check.
Hey, and we looks like Ape has been
Hey,
able to come
hey,
on. He is
but
a
yeah,
faceless ape tonight.
I mean, it's a bad situation when you're growing and gaining wealth and things, and a drop of a hat, a lot of it, if not 50%, is gone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
that's
another reason I went monk. I am not willing to risk that. I'm sorry.
yeah, the former spouse or the ex-wife doesn't get. The attorneys will clean it out. They, you know, I it took my divorce took 3 years. I live in Florida. It shouldn't have taken that long.
Ouch!
And they took everything. I was,
Ouch!
I'm almost 50 years old. I was well on my way to being pretty independent, and it was, the both attorneys were horrible people, and they just, you know, I think it was took 3 years, and maybe 5 days before they're like, my attorney calls. He said, "Oh, we're gonna have to go to trial. We're gonna have to go to trial, and I need another $10,000." And I said, "Well, I don't have any more money." I think I lost you guys. Still there?
No, I can hear you.
Oh, yeah. And of course, he knew that, he knew I didn't have any money. He knew the money was all gone. It was all gone. And I said, "Well, F you, you're fired, blah, blah, send me the paperwork. I'm done."
Yeah.
And of course, we had a trial coming up. This is like a Thursday or a Friday. We had a trial coming up Tuesday morning. And of course, he was shaking me down. I think he thought I was holding back some cash, that they didn't know about. And of course, everything by Monday evening, everything was settled. And Tuesday morning, I was divorced after the money had all gone. So,
That's fucking awful. They
but
sucked you
hey
dry.
man, it was a bitch, and it took. I mean, everything I had, every dollar I had, almost all the possessions I had. The only thing I have left is my old truck, and I remember I lived in that thing for like 9 months. But
Yeah.
like I said, if it wasn't for my children, it would have been completely scorched earth, I guess, and maybe I would have left town. But they the whole system works against you. Both attorneys, the whole system, the ex-wife, they all just pick you till you're clean.
What's going on?
Anyway, I haven't even talked about it to anybody before, really.
Yeah. Well,
We lost Ape again.
yeah, we lost Ape again. So,
But how long you guys been kind of going the monk mode?
2016 divorce, second divorce, 2015, 2016, because I tried that dating around and a little bit, and I'm like, fuck this shit, man. You
Yeah,
know?
that was my
Yeah.
reaction. I went from I'm 48, so I was married for 17 years or 16, 16, whatever it was, and then I tried a little bit of that dating, and I was like, what the fuck? Where I felt like I was dropped off on another planet.
yeah, exactly. That's why I, went monk. I had a month where every single date I had was a foodie date.
Oh yeah, man. They
And
and I
and after that, I was just like, fuck it, I'm done.
yeah yeah. I mean, it was
The
a
lady,
it was yeah. Go from
Well,
the. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
go ahead, Schluss.
we've all had our kids.
And see, I wouldn't understand a young person with no kids going monk. I can see doing it, but I can see where the biological drive, because I've had kids. A lot of monks have already had kids.
Yeah,
So, I mean, to me, that would be the biggest dilemma.
yeah. That's the hardest part about MGTOW is it's the no marriage, no cohabitation, no children, and those are good rules to live by if you don't want to get fucked over. But usually, people like myself and a lot of us have gotten fucked over, and that's why we found MGTOW.
But couldn't you say the three rules are kind of the base of it because it's a philosophy?
Yeah,
That's the
that is
way I kind of look at it. Yeah,
those are the cornerstones of MGTOW. If you're married, you're not MGTOW. You might be red pill.
yeah, yeah,
You
yeah, oh
know,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
like Hemi is married and he's
Right.
very red pill,
Yeah, based and yeah.
but he's not MGTOW. He'll tell you that to your face if you ask him.
Oh, and I can see a marriage going well. That's what I saw when I was young.
Yeah,
Good marriages, good strong grandmas, grandpas. I saw the strong shit, and it's just not that way anymore.
yeah,
Or very few,
and
very few.
yeah, it's very few. I know that since my early 30s until I was about 45, I really wanted children. I wanted them. There was
Yeah, yeah.
the biological urge was there, and I had three. So who's trying to come on again? It's Ape. Hopefully, Ape
Well,
can.
I got the pleasurable experience of seeing grandchildren with great great grandmas, right? So my mom's mom is a great, right? Yeah, great grandma, and I got to see things. So now I can understand somebody going monk and looking around and but not doing anything. You see what I mean? It's kind of like driving past the car dealership. You're not even pulling in to look at stuff.
Yeah.
If you haven't had
No.
children, if you know you're young and everything like that, because you got to think, you got to leave at least a 1% chance. To me,
Yeah,
nothing's absolute unless you're like us, where you've done it, been there, and I'm monk. I'm happy, content, whatever.
well, I've you know I have a lot of friends. I grew up in a small town, and I have a lot of friends who are still married to the people that they started pooping. Are you a monk?
I don't know who's monk and not really.
Yeah. Well, we'll add him, and if he's not a monk, we'll ask him to
We'll kick him.
come back. Come. Well, we're not going to kick him, but we'll ask him to come
Oh
back
no,
if
I've
he can
You
stay
can't?
here.
Can we kick him?
yeah, no, I've been monk for 4.5 years.
Oh, cool. All right.
How many
Then
times you
you're
been
you're more
married?
than.
Just once. It was under two,
Did
but
that
last
trigger it?
yeah, well, I mean,
Heart.
I mean that was kind of like the wake up because obviously when you go through that, I was only married for just under 2 years, and you talk about the chameleon or the change. I mean, literally, it was from night to day from when we dated for just over a year. That was a big mistake on my part, but didn't vet her well enough. But once she got that ring and I moved into her place, which was stupid, I had a home that I I always looked at having a home. That was kind of like my bachelor pad until I got married. I was very, very blue pilled. And so, yeah,
So,
she got,
Poop,
yeah.
what virtues do you like about being a monk? What are your monkly virtues,
Uh,
monkish virtues?
just freedom and not the hassle of trying to deal with her emotional issues. And my ex, all right, so I was married briefly, under 2 years. Dated around for about 18 months after that. Mutual friend, great gal. I mean, to this day, I mean, we didn't end on bad terms per se, although that she thought I was cheating on her, which I wasn't. But that's a whole separate discussion in terms of how the hive mind works and influence from friends and so forth. But no, I mean, she was a good woman in which that I thought, oh, this is going to be somebody that's going to be different than what I've experienced, at least with my recent marriage. I've never had an issue with women per se. In fact, she's the only one that's broken it up with me, with my ex girlfriend. All other women, I've decided that it just wasn't the right fit. They weren't willing to compromise. It was always me having to concede to what they wanted. So after that, after we were together for almost 6 years, and after that, it made me realize that much like what happened with her college boyfriend of 8.5 years, they were married for 14 months. I came to the realization that I don't, I'm kind of Aaron Clary's position where I really don't think that women truly love. Well, we all know that women don't love the same, but I really truly don't think that women really, they like the benefits of being with a man, but they're not willing to sacrifice or invest in a man today. They just have too many options.
Yeah.
So, I mean, other than a trip to Portugal where I had some fun with some Portuguese ladies, other than that, I've been completely dateless, and I don't miss it. I mean, sometimes it does get a little bit lonely, but I've got a dog, I've got hobbies, I've got friends. It's just when you go out and you look at the average woman today, just even compared to like 10 years ago, these women are just so friggin' either neurotic, they have issues, baggage, they're entitled. Most of them aren't even halfway attractive, and I don't show my face for business reasons, but I'm a decent looking guy, maybe slightly above average. I've got means of which that I I don't need to work, or if I decided to retire early, I could do that. Maybe not as comfortably as I could in another country as I would here, but there's just no upside to it. Like I truly feel like you're just going to be in a position of where she's right there right now. If you're having fun, enjoy it, because down the road something's going to happen. She'll be influenced by her friends, um, dating
So
apps or social media.
basically, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but we're trying to break this down into virtues.
Mhm.
Um, and I hear you saying that um, you're embracing chastity, and you're embracing diligence, um, and let's see, crap, I lost my notes. I had to back out, or I yeeted myself, and I lost my notes. So, and you're embracing patience. Am I wrong about that, or are there other virtues uh,
Well,
that
yeah, I
you're
mean,
think
I
of yourself?
I think I don't accept the intolerance that I did previously in order to make something work. I mean, I
Right.
look at it as really guys want three things. We want respect first and foremost. We want intimacy and we want companionship, and that's about it. And today, you can have that for a couple of years, but inevitably, the shine wears off of things and get into a routine. And um, like my ex girlfriend, again, a good person, but she has the typical operating system that most women have,
Yeah.
and she became bored. So we went to Thailand for 32 days and had a great time. But then after that, we had a trip planned to Montana, and it was, well, I want to do this, this, and this. And my old man lives in Montana, and I'm like, we're going there to see him. Like, if we go to Yellowstone, and we've got some time to go up to Glacier, but first and foremost, it's that. Well, that didn't sit very well because she was like, well, if I'm going to take off 14 days to do that, then I want to do this, this, and this. And I laid it down. I said, again, I told you, like, I'm taking you out on my dime. You have very little expenses involved in this. And if you don't want to go, you don't need to. But this is what I need, or this is what I want to do. And yeah, that's, well, I mean, basically just started making her be held accountable for her actions. And she didn't like that.
Hey, Brandon,
So, yes.
is anger and wrath?
Anger is definitely part of wrath.
It's just part of it though, because that's what I found when I went monk and stoic. I lost a lot of the anger.
Yeah.
It's not that I would act on the anger, but it was the anger. You know,
Yeah.
road. I don't want to say road rage, but being just a drive can send your blood pressure up. And once, to me, you get out of the bullshit and you go monk, it's like I think it helps your health, honestly.
It really does. It allows you not to
Absolutely.
brood. At least it allows me not to brood and think about different ways to do evil things.
Well, honestly, when I was married to the kid's mother, I would wake up in the morning and one of the first things I thought, what's going to happen today? That's no
Yeah.
way to live.
Yeah.
No.
What's going to fucking happen today?
Oh, and I have an announcement. I finally got word from Ike that his dad has cleared it. Um, we're going to have a MGTOW meetup coming in the spring in Oregon. The exact date is to be determined, but Ike's um, parent or his family runs a blacksmithing school. So the meetup will be drinking beer and learning how to do basic blacksmithing.
You know a good
So
thing to learn? Horseshoes.
yeah, well, that's basic
Blacksmith horseshoes.
blacksmithing.
Yeah.
So those of you who are interested in taking a little vacation in the spring for a long weekend, um, we will get some dates together after I talk to a few more people. And if you feel like coming out to Oregon and learning a little bit a skill that I've always wanted to be, learn a little bit about blacksmithing, to be able to make my own nails, to repair a knife, uh, you know, how do how do you look at a piece of metal and know how hot it is?
Well, you
That
could
type of thing.
make gardening utensils.
Yeah, exactly. You can make your own tools for gardening. You can make, pots and pans. You can do all kinds of different stuff. Or you can make hinges. You know,
Oh,
basic stuff.
yeah, hinges.
You're not going to be going in and creating a new, sword of, what is it, Excalibur or anything like that.
Sword of
But
enlightenment.
yeah, but you'll get a weekend course on how not to kill yourself at a forge, basically. um,
Don't
and
touch that. That's hot.
they have a school there, and also you'll get to check out Ike's caboose. entendre and entendre
Wow.
intended. So if you don't know it,
Caboose.
Ike has been building himself a little tiny house that
With a
is
big
in the
caboose.
shape that is the shape of an old caboose. Uh, so
Looks like a big caboose to me.
yep, it's a big caboose for a big fella. So David Smith think that sounds awesome. I don't know about the rest of y'all, but I'm going. I
I
better
wonder
No,
since
if
I
it
think
was my fucking idea.
I wonder if a train goes up there. What would you do? Try to
Yes.
get a haul up there?
Yeah,
You
I'm
can
gonna
get a
get a
haul
haul
up
up
there.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, but I know that there's a railroad track that goes right next to the blacksmith school. But Ike lives very close to Portland, so those of you who are going to fly from other places, you can fly into Portland and then Uber out to the school, or maybe you know maybe one of the locals like Scotty or Ike can give you a ride in their car.
I
I
wouldn't rent
won't.
a car. I heard renting a car is really dicey these days.
Yeah. Well, Uber is cheap, and like even though I'm probably going to be bobtailing it up there to the meet, I'm not going to be driving that thing around town because it takes up two parking spaces, and that's fucking not any fun. And so you always have to worry about squishing people.
Yeah, that's not.
I
Yeah.
just as soon ride in the back of an Uber and say, "Take me here, off to the park." You know how I love the park, James. You know.
no, I think that would be
Uh,
cool. There's and there's a guy that's in either Australia or New Zealand that he's homesteading and just living off the land here. I'm trying to look up his link here on my subs. I've got
I
like
think it's MGTOW
430.
Matty, right?
No, no, he's not. He's not MGTOW per se. I mean, I would assume that he kind of is just because he's doing his own thing.
Who, Maddie?
Um,
I think Maddie's a monk.
Yeah, Matty's a monk,
Yeah, Maddie's a monk.
and,
He
and
goes off on.
Matty's got a serious homestead.
Yeah, well, he goes off on chicks being in chat. If a chick comes in chat, he leaves. That's monk. That's serious monk.
Yeah. Well, I don't allow women in my chats, so
Right.
he
I'm just
doesn't
that's his
he doesn't
personal
have to leave
preference,
here.
but
Matty is a wrench, and Matty can boot them.
well, have you guys y'all have seen My Self Reliance, the guy up in Canada that
Yeah.
built his own log cabin? Um,
Hmm.
yeah, he's let me think. David. Oh, all right. Here's one. David Canterbury. This guy is over in. Oh no, shit. No, not David Canterbury. Although he's good.
I think Self Reliance has moved to Michigan now these days.
Really?
Yeah.
Because the last stream that I saw, like he he moved. He upgraded. I think it's on his same property, but he built a place that he and his wife and his daughter can come and stay. So
I'm thinking of a different guy. Your Self Reliance is the younger guy that got brain cancer, right?
no, I would say he's probably maybe early 50s or so.
No, then I'm
Just
thinking
does
he's
just
got a really calm voice.
yeah, and he's got
Yeah.
a golden retriever named God, what is Calvin.
Oh yeah, I know who you're talking
Yeah,
about now. He never talks, and
no,
he
very rarely.
yeah, got it. I remember. And he's got that geodesic dome that he
Yep, he just
was
recently built that, I guess, for like a
his
greenhouse
garden.
kind of
Yeah,
thing. Yeah.
oh, that'd be cool.
I know who you're talking about.
I
Yeah.
wonder how hard that'd be.
Well, he
See that,
had his family help him out build the geodesic dome,
and
but
he
he
was
finished it himself.
a carpenter by trade, so he can.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
amazing what he can do without power tools, and just like, I mean, his videos are just they're so well shot.
And
And
watching him move those logs by himself,
yes, And
Oh my
just
God.
the way he can think through of what he wants to accomplish and then build it or break it down block by block and then do it. I wish I had that kind of like knowledge.
Yeah.
There's
Well,
patience right there.
yeah, that's patience.
Oh, here it is. Chris Harbor, Harbur. But he
He's
just
the British. He's the guy that lives in Wales and does the hydroelectric, right?
yes, yeah, like he took an
Yeah,
old
yeah,
washing machine and used the water force in order to generate electricity. Yeah, I love his
yeah.
stuff.
I love his stuff. I love the roof that he built for his workshop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that would be ideally like, kind of like Joker. I would love to find, 15, 20 acres outside of like Nashville or Knoxville, and just I the older that I get, the less that I want to be anywhere close to modern society and people today.
I just warn you, getting
Agreed.
older and trying to do that shit is rough on you too.
Well, that's true.
Trust me. That's the reason I drink.
Or my other thought is just move to Thailand or the Philippines and live there very well for $2,000 a month
Or less.
or oh yeah, 2,000. Like there's I mean, I follow several Thailand and Philippine channels, but like this one guy said, even with a girlfriend that likes to spend and shop and go out and do stuff, we have to really struggle to spend $3,000 a month.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
and for a lot of people, I mean, their Social Security, I forgot what the average is. It's like $1,800. Hell, there's a guy, Vagabond Awake has a guy that he has a place in the Philippines. Nothing fancy, but he's happy. It's $100 a month for his place.
Yeah. And
Damn.
if you don't live crazy, you can easily retire in someplace like that.
Yep. And
You'll be
plus,
able to
I feel
retire
Um,
like
when you're dead.
you would be living more than what I feel like ever since like COVID. It just feels like Groundhog Day every damn
Yeah.
day.
What's wrong today? What's wrong today?
Yeah, or it's like, well, this is what I had to do last week, or I don't know. It just to me like COVID really. I mean, it certainly affected a lot of people, but for me personally, it just made me wake up and realize, man, I'm not, and like I think most of MGTOWs, we are critical thinkers. Like when
Yeah.
something happens, I'm not saying that we're extremely intelligent, but we take ownership and think, where did I go wrong? What can I do differently? What can I prevent my choices from happening again? And
yes.
most people don't do that. They live in the moment.
No, you're right. It takes very little money to take care of myself.
Well, one thing you have to remember about places like the Philippines and Thailand is they won't let you purchase land, but
No,
you
you're right.
can purchase an apartment.
Yeah, as long as there's a 51% ownership by Thai citizens, yes, you're right. Now you
Yeah,
can do a lease arrangement. You can do a 50-year lease. Well, I mean, it depends, but
right?
30, 50-year lease. And you definitely want to get an attorney involved in order to make sure that
Oh,
that deed
absolutely.
is safe and it's secure. But no, you're absolutely right. I mean, same thing down in Mexico. Like you can't own land within 50 miles of the coast. So, but then again, I mean, if you don't have kids that you want to, I guess, leave that legacy to, and you're not really concerned, you just really want to have a place that you're not going to get kicked out, or the price is going to rise so much that you have to leave, then I think it's a viable alternative to it.
Yep. And if you get a legitimate um, medical insurance to cover your medical needs as you get older in these foreign places, Thailand has good medicine these days. I don't know about the Philippines, but I know Thailand is very modern. Um, I've done a couple of vacations over there, and no, I wasn't fucking chasing fucking hookers or anything like that. Um, I spent a week at this tea plantation that they had turned into a B&B, and that was really freaking cool up in the mountains. Then another time I went to Phuket.
Was that Chiang Mai, like the mountain area?
Oh god, it was. Do you know where the what are those people that do the neck thing, the rings on their neck?
The Karen tribe? Does that ring a bell? They're more elephant. So if it wasn't elephants, then that's not them.
Oh, they had elephants up there too. But anyways, the local ladies had the fucking rings on their neck. I can't remember. It's been, oh god, it's been. I just got out, so it was 1996 when I did it.
Well, one thing I love about Thailand or Southeast Asia is just the culture. I mean, if you're an old fuck, they don't look at that as being. They look at that as like they respect, and family is so important there, and the Buddhist culture, far better than what we have here, and I'm sure that a lot of that relates back to just their basic income, but man, they're happy people. They're grateful people. They look at what they have that they're blessed with, and here we look at what we have and go, so how can I
want
get more?
more?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that has a lot to do with envy.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And one of the reasons that communism is so appealing to the young is they're envious of the wealth that the elders have. Like you hear fucking talk down on the boomers, and they're saying, "Oh, it was so easy to get rich back then." And the answer is no, it wasn't.
No. No.
The easy part was saving for retirement.
Yeah, well, I think they had less obstacle. They had less regulations, so that if you had a good idea, you're willing to work hard. They didn't have as much competition as what we have now, or the large corporations that can stifle your competition. So I would agree. I think it was easier in sense, but not as many people had that same forethought to say, I'm not going to go work for large corporations because, hey, my dad was a union guy and I'm going to be a union guy. And, we
Yep.
saw what happened with General Motors in Detroit. And,
Yep.
many of those people got absolutely screwed.
Yep.
Yep.
And by the way, my whatever Discord picture or my StreamYard's picture, this guy, he was a total fucking Chad. This guy, met him on Porto wine tasting tour in Portugal, and this guy was a fucking hoot. He was a local, and I think that girl there, she was part of our tour group. I just he actually followed us from one vineyard to the other. Couldn't really quite understand like what his game was. Like, was he just like, hey, I want to follow you guys and have a good time with you, or he was interested in the girl, or what, or he wanted us to go back to his vineyard. But this guy was just fucking funny as shit.
Hey,
Spoke
if you
broken
wanted
English.
to party,
What's that, Danny?
he probably just wanted to party.
I think he did. I think he probably thought like, this girl, she definitely enjoyed him. We all did. And I think he kind of thought, oh, this might be an opportunity. Anyway, so that's not me. At some point, like when I decide that I'm going to say fuck it and get out of the Fortune 50 world, I'll show my face. Maybe start a stream.
I tell you where I do stand out, and it can be uncomfortable, is if you're out and about with friends or something like that, and they start dick thinking, and it's
Yeah.
like, it's like, this guy's like, look at the taters and all that shit, and I'm sitting here like, oh fuck,
Yep.
you know what I mean? It's just one of
Well,
those.
we all can appreciate a good-looking ass or a nice pair
Mm,
of titties, but that doesn't mean we have to do anything about it.
right, you don't have to do anything about it, but that's what I'm saying. It's just like, if it's there, I notice it, but it's some of our friends, relatives, or whatever, they're focused on it, like going to
Oh
a
yeah,
family thing. Well, you need to just marry you an Amish woman. It's like, oh my god.
fuck
Well, and
that.
it changes the whole dynamic of what you had before she showed up. That's where I get resentful. Like you're now supplicating to what to what you think that will get her to be interested in you. And so, you leave the group, you spend all your time with her, you try and impress her, and we're looking at you like dude, we know who you are. Like that's not your personality. You're trying to put on your best foot forward. And
Well, it's hard for me to be in situations, especially like family gatherings, where you see the debauchery and just, to me, ignorance or stupidity. And it's like, this ain't my atmosphere. You know what I mean?
yep.
Being a monk, it's like, you know, to me, it's
It's
kind of
tough
a party dampener.
once your eyes have been
Yeah,
opened to the world.
I don't want to sit around a campfire and listen to single mothers bitch about their life. I'm sorry, that's not fun. You know what I mean? And their family or related to family somehow. It's like, god damn, we're dysfunctional as fuck.
yeah. Another, that I think a lot of us, I know after my divorce, my family was very supportive of my ex-wife.
Ooh.
In fact, in my opinion, insultingly so. Whenever I would tell what was going on and the things that were happening, I'd hear things like, "Oh, I never saw anything like that." And I'm like, "Motherfucker, I am telling you what was going on. You weren't there. Of course, you didn't see anything like that. And she's not going to put on her fucking evil face when she's out in public, you know."
Oh yeah. Or family gatherings.
Uh,
She's not gonna
I,
go psycho bitch at a family gathering, but by God at home she will.
Mm-hmm.
so it's stuff like that that used to just drive me up the wall. Yeah.
So Brandon, like what do you think is going to actually change any of this? Because I posted
What's
in
going
the
to
comments.
change? We're
Yeah,
going to
like
be
what?
better men. That's what's going to change.
Yeah, but what do you think will require for the reset for women to wake up? Because I don't think that's going to happen unless.
I don't think it's going to happen at all.
Yep.
Yep.
Without you know a Taliban-like mentality, we are not going to change their behavior. And I don't think that the Western man has the stomach to put the women in their place,
Yep.
because we are too afraid of our own government fucking stomping us out if we were to try. Uh, my whole life, I've been hearing revolution, 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 and I'm 55. I've never seen it other than a few idiots uh, doing stupid things that always get stopped really quick.
Yep. No, I think you're right.
Uh, I think the best deal is to find a place to hunker down and ride it out and live the best life we can.
Yep.
and serve as an inspiration for the generations coming behind us.
Well, now, Brandon, you said that you have children there. Do you have a son?
I have a son and two daughters.
And so, how are you advising your son and daughters to deal with the new dynamic?
Well, my one daughter, my oldest daughter, got married this spring. She was a virgin until she got married,
Good for her.
and she married a doctor and moved back with him to Turkey. And they are doing very well for themselves. They're living in Ankara, and I'm hoping to hear any time now that I'm going to have grandkids.
Well, good for her. That sounds like
So
you did right, or like she saw. She didn't wait until she was 30 and then decided, oh, I need to settle.
yeah, she got married when she was 23.
That's awesome.
And my other kids, my other two children, don't talk to me.
Is that because of your ex-wife and her doing?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It is. They when I went overseas, they stopped talking to me, and I found out that was the ex. When I would try to get them to come over to visit, you know, I couldn't get them to, agree to come. When my son graduated high school, he put aside 1 hour to spend with me, and expected me to fly 26 hours to him, spend an hour with him, and fly 26 hours home.
Wow.
And I told him I wasn't going to do it, and he hasn't wanted to have anything to do with me since then.
And how old are your sons? Because I mean, I'll be the
I
first
just have
one to
the one
say-
son.
Oh, that's right, two daughters.
He's 22.
Well, it took me, anecdotal take it for whatever it's worth. My parents divorced when I was 12, and of course, naturally, it was my dad's fault. And he bore a lot of that responsibility. But the older that I got, and he never shared any of the reasons why. I mean, we kind of knew in a way there was no infidelity on either side. Now he did marry a nurse and he left my mom for her, but the older it took me till I was like 25, 26 to realize that he didn't just like lose everything that he did just to be with another woman without some type of reason. And ultimately it became, he did later on say, when I was past 40, he's like, I got tired of feeling like I was an ATM. I worked my ass. I mean, he worked 70, 80 hours a week. And so he had limited time. And he provided us with a very nice, comfortable lifestyle. And my mom didn't work after, she worked as a teacher for a couple of years. But he basically is like, a man has certain needs. And that is ultimately what caused them to break up, where she was focused just on her kids. And she didn't focus in on him. And I don't blame him now.
No, I don't blame him either. And I know exactly how he feels.
Yep.
Well, I got a question. Johnny Midnight says he's monk as Friar Tuck. Now, last night, didn't we discuss some monks weren't celibate?
Right.
I didn't.
But
I always thought monks were all celibate, but you guys enlightened me. I was like, I didn't know some monks weren't.
There's no requirement to be celibate in Buddhism.
Mm.
Now they stress being minimalists, but
Not celibate.
you don't have to be celibate. In fact, I think that there are actually some married Buddhist monks in Thailand. I know there are in Nepal. I know there are in Nepal and.
Doug says he's a monk, and I asked him to step in because I think he's in a unique situation, being a
you want
monk.
Me to post
I don't.
It again? Here, I'll post the.
Well, he's
Street.
in a unique situation where he's monk and getting ready to go into a good job, and he is going to get thrown temptation after temptation after temptation.
Target.
Oh
I
yeah.
guarantee it.
Well, he has to practice, patience and celibacy if he's going to stay monk. If he chooses not to be monk anymore, that's his choice.
Right.
I'm just sad that he wouldn't put on the maid's outfit for Riggs Jr.
Well, that's if there was video of it, so we had content. I'm a capitalist. I'm looking. You know what I mean?
Well, I tried to talk. Riggs is a much better man than I am. Uh, I tried to talk Riggs into meeting him at he was like meeting him at the airport or wherever the fuck he was meeting Doug and and meeting him with the outfit and filming that as he walked up and said, okay, sure, you can come stay on my couch for a few days and we'll get you set up in a new apartment. But when you're home, here you go. But
I
Riggs
hope.
wouldn't do that.
Really? Damn.
That would have been funny. And that was all my joke. That nobody else is guilty of that.
Oh,
Hey, Doug.
hey,
Well,
hey, good to see you, Brandon.
Riggs is a minimalist, so he'd probably buy him that cheap maid's outfit that you find in a dollar store. I mean,
Yeah.
Doug deserves the true, real maid's outfit. The cloth
Reserve
ones.
myself.
The French maid.
I'm catching 10 kinds of hell for this friendship with Riggs Jr. Oh,
Well, Riggs is actually a monk too,
yeah.
but
Is he?
yeah.
I didn't know.
Now, yeah, I stopped years ago. As far as going out and having sex with women, I guess I got it all out of my system, and I'm just fine being the way I am now.
Well, good. What type of virtues do you see yourself as a monk? What are your main virtues that you like?
I'm coming at this from a Christian worldview.
Right.
So I don't bring all of that here because I don't know what everybody's personal beliefs are, and that's fine. But
Well,
for
did you
me,
catch the beginning of my stream?
I just got back from Sioux Falls with Riggs, and I just literally pulled in just now.
Okay.
So he needs to decompress with being with Riggs. You know how that goes.
Okay. Yeah. Well, actually,
he
I
needs
don't
to
know how that
relax.
goes, but I can
Right.
sympathize.
Yes. Do you
I
need
don't
to
know how you
lay
guys.
down, Doug?
I don't know how you guys feel, but I really love just being on my own. I
Yeah.
like the quiet. I like the peace. I like the. Now, I've never raised a family, so I don't know what it's like to go down that path. But for me, I just like it, And if I need to be busy, if I need to be preoccupied, I just go to work, and that's what I'm here to do.
Hey, Easy's in the chat, and he says he's been monk since divorce. So if you
Yeah.
want ex law enforcement and a perspective of being monk,
Well, if Easy wants to join in, do you want me to post the link again? Here, I'll post it again. That's no problem.
I think he's been like tempted to come out of monk, and I can see where that would be difficult for an individual trying to be monk like Doug's going to go out to have a good job and everything like that.
Mhm.
He's going to run into women,
Yeah.
and they're going to be like, hell, they might be slipping damn roofies in his beers or something. You never. I'm telling you,
Yeah.
if they know where
Yeah.
he's at and everything, I'm telling you.
Well, I think we're all, human, and the ability to be tempted is, it's part of the human condition. So you just got to, get control of your biology.
Yeah.
If this is a lifelong decision, you want to stick with it, then you'll do that.
So
If you're committed,
which virtue is that?
well,
Temperance.
Like temperance? Do
that
you
is
have?
absolutely
Yeah.
it's temperance
Okay,
and
Self-control.
chastity.
chastity.
Well, and sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but one of the things that I found, I guess, like I consider myself a monk. It doesn't mean that I wouldn't enjoy the pleasures of the flesh from time to time. But when you realize the investment that you made previously didn't work out, I've had multiple long-term relationships. I was never one that I wanted to have casual sex just to bust a nut, because to me,
Same here.
that's just, it's just, I don't know. It's kind of like eating a bunch of candy. Like, it's great at the time, but the next morning you feel like shit. But when you realize that no matter who she is, where she is, what her upbringing is, that like human TFM, Barbarossa have all commented, like she can't love you the way that you would expect that, because I do think a lot of men, we we project the love that our mother had for us onto the women that we date, and that's never going to happen. Um, and it makes it easier in which to go if it's something that's short term now. And believe me, I was a huge both my older brothers, they married their wives from college, from high school. They are the exceptions. I didn't have that same path or route. In some ways, I kind of do wish that I got married young, but we all know the repercussions of what can happen when you marry young. She gets bored or feels like I didn't really get to sow her oats. So she, you know, 7 or 8 years in, one or two kids, she wants to go out and ride the cock carousel. But I do feel like when you know that you'll never have that, and if you can critically think and analyze the fact that she will never love you for who you are as a person, just what you provide, it makes it easier. It makes you feel it's okay in which to enjoy, the earthly flesh without feeling bad about the fact that, yeah, she's going to be hurt by it as well because it was her choice. Anyway, so and that's where I'm at. It's like, would I get into a long-term relationship? Not again with a Western woman. Would I entertain that if I move overseas? I would. I wouldn't marry her, but it would have to be a unique individual. And I think, even on some of the expat channels, they're mentioning the dangers of expats coming over and thinking that the women in the Philippines or in Thailand are going to be uniquely different, and they'll be, like women were back in the 50s. Like those days are gone. Maybe if you were there in the early 2000s, maybe, but watched enough of them, and they've all commented that that is going to be a pipe dream. You have to vet them just as hard as what you would do in the West. They may be more traditional and more family focused, but at the end of the day, we're looking for beauty, youth, fertility. They're looking for safety, provision, protection. Basically, you
If
need
I
to.
was to if I was to live over in Thailand or Philippines or Cambodia or something like that, I would not be looking for. I think I would since I've lived overseas and have an almost full passport uh, from doing a lot of traveling, I would, say that you're absolutely correct. Women, uh, you know, have all been bitten with the feminist bug, and they're just as same as they are here, but they're more feminine about it.
Yep.
If you're going to get any tail, it's going to cost you. I would just hire a fucking cook and a gardener and live my best life if I was living over there. Enjoy the weather and go see the sights.
Yep.
And also, if you're going to be traveling overseas, learn a little bit of the language. Thai is difficult.
So it's
Filipino,
Japanese.
Tagala is not. The Philippine language it's called Tagala, and it's not that difficult to learn a few phrases. And most people over there speak a little English, but they will speak a lot more English to you if you go to the market and you try and negotiate with them in their native tongue. So it doesn't take long to learn how to count. It doesn't take long to, learn how to like bribe your way onto the train. Because if the train's full, you can always bribe your way on. Like, I'll give you a hint of how to ride any train between, Chris Mitchell is wanting to get on, but Chris is not a monk. I'm sorry, Chris, but this is a monk panel tonight. We will have you on some other time when we're not doing monk talk.
My neighbors are screaming.
Oh, good.
Oh, God. Sorry about that, Brandon.
Oh, no worries.
Right.
If you
Speaking
ever
of
want to get on
monk.
any train in Eastern Europe, you say "do," and then the name of the city, and then "Pожалуйста" while holding out currency. That's how you bribe your way on any train. It's like, "Do, Moscow, Pожалуйста," and you hand them 100 grima. You're on.
Yeah.
And the conductors will let you sit in their little, because they all have their own compartment, and you can sit in there, and they'll even bring you tea. Yes, I know it's discrimination, but Emperor, we don't know if you're now the Manchurian candidate after being poked and prodded at the hospital.
Did you say probed?
Yes, he got probed. Lots.
I know he got jabbed and poked,
Well,
but I didn't know prodded or probed.
all those nurses found out that he was a pureblood, and they're like, "Oh fuck yeah, I want to have kids with you, baby."
Yeah. So, anyways, does anybody else have any monk thoughts?
It's just the for me, the stoicism is rewarding, but it is hard.
Yeah.
And I'm not just saying sexual orgies or anything like that. Just being stoic and being like you're a dumb person, and I can't be around you.
Yeah, no, being stoic in the workplace, I found that is the most difficult thing to do. And I have to check myself all the time when I have to deal. I work in healthcare, and it's predominantly women, and that is the most difficult thing because I am like, what is going to be required to get the job done? I don't need to hear about all the other bullshit about what's going on. And I have to temper myself to go, you know what? Let them talk. And once they get it off their chest, I'll say to them, I manage some people, and I'm like, So what are we going to do about this? Basically meaning, like, what is your solution? Don't put that fucking monkey on my back. What do you suggest that I take into consideration and give input? I don't want this to be, I have a problem, now it's yours. That's not the way this works. That's not what I'm paying you for. But I get, I almost want to, I go into that red pill rage again where I'm like what? You're being paid a very good sum to do your job, and you're not willing to do it once you encounter something that's outside of the order of just, this is the same routine that I've done for the past 2 or 3 years. And when you have that issue, you come to management and say, well, what should I do? I'm like, well, tell me what you think should be done, and I'll give you guidance. So that's my personal issue with that. And even, reading Marcus Aurelius Meditations, I agree, Andy. Stoicism for the win, but it is a damn difficult thing to do when you have people that they're just fucking NPCs most of the time.
Yeah. I find that it's hard for me to stay out of like the big picture political arguments, or people that are wanting to like talk about these big conspiracies and stuff. And as a Stoic, I want to fix and focus on only what I can personally affect,
Mm-hmm.
and not getting caught up in all this, basically drama. It's news drama instead of female drama, but it's basically just drama for the sake of being drama, where you can blame some exterior force for all of your woes and the parts of society that you can't control. And I would love to say that it's this, that, or the other thing, and we should rise up and all that. And
Yeah, I don't see that either, Brandon.
I just I find it hard to stay out of that. There's a lot of my time before I got divorced, I was sort of reactionary politically, and
I have an optimistic attitude about being. I don't understand all the different terms, but like I have an optimistic view on my life, knowing that, well, for me, having sex just to have sex to satisfy that need is something that I just never wanted to participate in anyway. And I also realized that trying to do the traditional path today is like playing Russian roulette with a fully loaded chamber. So I'm like, I'll just go make my money and do that.
yeah. All
I'm not
right.
saying there's not good women out there, but I'm just not willing to step on 1,000 grenades on the way.
Right. Well, since we've all chosen monk, so we don't really have to talk about how awful women are, because we know.
Yeah.
I really have hope for our future as a community, if we can, do stuff like this meetup that I'm planning out with Ike coming up. For those of you who come lately, we're gonna have a meetup in the spring in Oregon at Ike's family's blacksmithing school. And we're going to have a weekend where we learn basic blacksmithing. And this meetup was inspired by a video that Billy Von Baum did about, traveling as a monk. What do you do? You're not going there to chase pussy. So we're going to learn about blacksmithing. And hopefully we'll have other brothers come forward with little, um, bits of knowledge that they have and teach, you know, or they live near some place where we can all learn a skill when we travel. Or if they live near some type of an interesting historical place, we can go. Like if any of the brothers live in Philadelphia or something like that. I've wanted to go to Philadelphia my entire life and go see the Liberty Bell and see Constitution Hall and that type of stuff. And one of the things I'm going to do as I'm doing the world tour is when I go to interesting places like that, I'm going to visit the either beautiful or historical places and see what's there.
Nice.
Should we take mercy on Chris Mitchell? He really wants to talk tonight.
Well,
He's been
he's in a bad way.
I'm good with that.
all
He
right.
got hit.
So
He got hit with a diagnosis, and that's
yeah,
never easy. Injury and diagnosis of life altering. That's tough on a feller because
yeah,
it can break you down to where it's like I'm not as good as I was before this incident or something. It's a mental
yeah. And
fuck.
for Chris, I'm sure it's just it's like the end of his youth.
Well, and if he was probed pretty good,
Well,
he might have probing stories.
yeah. All right, Mitchell, come on in. I hereby declare this Monks Council adjourned. Thank you, brothers, for sharing your stories
And
and your
if
wisdom.
if
Hey,
anybody
thank you.
needs like help talking and say I got proposition or something's going on that might pull you out of being a monk. I mean, once you're there, man.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you guys. For me, it's I still have mom and dad in the world. My mom really would like some grandbabies,
Oh God.
but
Are you the
it's
only
just not going to
son?
go that way.
And please welcome the Emperor of Freedom himself, Captain Dialysis, Chris Mitchell.
What's going on, gents? Thanks for having mercy on an old fuck like me who's falling apart.
Yeah, I'm older than you, Chris. Oh, damn it.
I appreciate
No, he's getting
it.
after me for my introduction.
Hey, what's the incel monk? I mean, if he keeps falling apart like me, I mean, you don't, you're an incel monk because no one will have anything to do with you.
That's
Indy,
true.
he's not going to be an incel monk. He's going to be an insulin monk.
Yeah.
Wow.
I've been given the nickname of Sugar Baby by a couple of people. I was like, what the fuck does that mean? It means you can't have sugar, baby.
Oh, wow.
Oh, it sucks, guys. I swear to God. Like, getting the treatment and stuff to bring my fucking blood sugar levels back down to normal, it just fucking makes you feel so much worse. Like, I just
Hey,
go through this plateau of peaks and stuff that just make me nauseous, give me fucking headaches, dizziness. It's like, holy fuck.
hey,
Sucks.
Chris. Hey, this is PWS. The one thing that I would say, I was diagnosed with a Gleason score of 12, and for those that have had cancer before, that's a very fucking high. It was in my prostate, and I had the core samples. I had the fucking probe up my ass, and they, took the core samples through my prostate. Anyway, I got a guy in Johns Hopkins that he's an expert in that, and he's like, yeah, you have some irregularities, but for them to do a prostatectomy at your age, and I was like 41 at the time, just had gotten married too. Um, he was like, man, like you are 0.0001% that would be a likely diagnosis. And so the more we investigated this pathologist that originally diagnosed me, most pathologists they are retained or they're under hire by the staff or by a hospital. Long story short, always get another fucking perspective.
Well, I mean, the lady that is well, okay. So I didn't have a family doctor until I went to the emergency, right? So the one who was working the emergency shift was willing to take me on as a family doctor. Now, this is all brand new, of course. So they want to do a week long kind of test, basically running me off a chart, right?
Well, and
And
had you fasted before? You know, when they
no,
took
well, I
the.
mean, I fast kind of like accidentally. You know what I mean? Like if I get too busy or something, I can generally skip like 2 meals and only have one meal a day.
Yeah, but when they took your blood sugar, like, were you
Yeah.
fasting for more than 24 hours?
No, 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 no. I went into the
Well,
emergency, and
I mean, that right there, that would cause some red flags to say that's probably not a completely accurate diagnosis.
no, and that's why we're going through this week-long trial period. So she's taking
Okay.
me on now as a family doctor. They're setting me up to get a phone call from the nutritionist and stuff that has to deal with diabetes, right? And they're setting it all up. But for right now, they put me on a quick regimen just to try it out for a week and see what happens. So the thing is, their numbers on this chart, right, maxes out at about 25 to 30. And that's where they're like, if you hit 25, don't bother taking insulin, just come to the fucking emergency room. Okay? My numbers have barely gone under 20 and 25.
Okay.
And I am like up in my insulin intake. I'm basically taking the numbers they're giving me here and I'm just doubling them. So when they say take fucking 3 units, I'm now taking 6. And that's the only way I can keep it down. It's still high. I'm still in like 16, 17 range, but it's the only way I can keep it from being like 30 fucking 5.
Is
It's
there any family history at all?
nope.
See, man,
No, I had to call my mother and everything and confirm it all. I was like, I can't think of anybody in the family that had diabetes, close or farther out, third, fourth cousins. Can't find anyone on any side. This one is just kind of like an anomaly that just propped up. But I honestly think it was those fucking Champex that I was taking because they basically give you almost exactly the same side effects as diabetes.
now what is Champex? I'm not familiar with that.
It's a quit smoking aid. It's a pill you take.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
But
Oh,
it was the
Chantix.
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 Sorry, yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
Initially, that was designed as a weight loss. But what it does to the body to cause weight loss, nobody seems to have an answer to that. Putting you in a state of ketosis is a great way to lose weight,
Hmm.
right? And putting you into a state of ketosis by shutting down your fucking pancreas is all the symptoms that you get with the side effects that you get with the Chantix.
I tried Chantix to quit chewing. They used it as um, like anti-anxiety drug for people who had really bad tobacco withdrawal.
Yeah.
But it made me paranoid.
Eric and them were here when I got off it. Okay, I stopped taking it the day they showed up because I didn't want to be nauseous while we were, out trying to have some fun and enjoy our vacation, right? So I stopped taking it. When he was here, I was still just under 200 pounds or just over. I can't remember. Right now, if he showed up again, he would not be looking at the same person because in the last 2 months, since it's just been over 2 months since the guys left, I dropped that 41 pounds almost instantly. So it sucked. It all sucked, but it's what it is.
Well, hey, Chris, do you have access to like homeopathic doctors? I mean, they're still doctors. They they look at things a little bit differently than.
Did he say homo doctors? What?
Yeah. But it's kind of funny, but Poopy, when you mentioned about the nurse's office or whatever that you went into, or the pharmacist that you went into, I was like, dude, where I went to go pick this shit up, there was like 7 women and 1 lonely guy. They were fucking everywhere.
Yeah.
Damn.
No, I mean, healthcare. I mean, if I could go back to my 23-year-old self, I'd be like, dude, do not, unless you're going to be a physician or even a PA. I don't know, but yeah, I would say, fuck no.
Mm, Fuck this shit, I'm out. I was actually looking to become a pharmacist at one point.
So was there any hot
But,
nurses?
oh yeah.
Was there?
Oh yeah, my nurse Crystal, she was fucking gorgeous, dude.
Really?
Even my doctor is fairly attractive.
Oh, I've
Got no
seen.
boobs, but
Unfortunately,
she's got
I've
a
dealt with the healthcare
not.
system. Yeah.
Yeah, no, she's got the look. But yeah, my nurse Crystal, well, she was the one that did all my IVs and showed me how to use the insulin needle or pen and stuff like that, right? Yeah, quite attractive. Quite attractive. Not that I wouldn't play dress up with her, but she could also poison you, no problem.
Well, in my experience, Chris, most of the nurses in the hospitals that I visit, they're stressed out. Yeah, they're stressed out. They're overworked, and they eat their anger or anxiety. Like
They're fucking crazy.
they're well. First of all, well, and my ex-girlfriend, she's a radiology tech. I would say to anybody, they're the equivalent of female attorneys, hairdressers, bartenders. Steer clear. Like they have
She
so many options.
pooping. She was radioactively crazy.
That yes, yeah, she had
She
isotopes in
she
her fucking
yeah.
vagina and brain.
Whew.
Yeah.
Wow.
Too
When
many
I
of
was
those.
when I lived in Alberta, I swear to God, dating nurses became like a fucking disease or some shit because it was everywhere.
hmm
I dated 3 nurses. They were all the same. They were horny little fucking sluts.
Yep.
Sorry to say, but that's just the way it was. I swear to God, it was like, okay, they signed up to be a nurse, they're a slut. Like one step away from being a prostitute. They weren't getting paid was the only difference.
Well, back in the day before most women were sluts, we always used to say, date a nurse because she's already touched a penis.
Mm, yeah, well, they definitely took that to heart. They're touching all penis. Well, that one chick I told you guys about, I don't know if you remember it, but I told you guys about the one chick who literally could not fathom a number of how many dicks she had. She was a nurse.
Wow.
Yeah,
Nurses or hairdressers.
could not even fathom it.
Yeah.
What's that?
Well, like Indy said, hairdressers. Yeah, it's like at
The
least
name
nurses make decent money, compared to hairdressers. So, but at the same time, too, they have access. In my
they
opinion,
can
like go ahead.
they can fund their crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, and
Almost
hairdressers,
every
they're
woman who
influenced by crazy.
almost every woman who became a nurse got into that profession so she could marry a doctor.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
MRS surgery. Yep.
Well, that's
And
not
the ones
case
that
anymore.
don't get bitter.
Mm.
That's not the case anymore. I think they just get into it for like the cash, and then they like you said, they can fund their, or Indy said they can fund their promiscuous life.
I mean, traveling nurses now are making $6,000 to $8,000 a month.
A month?
A month.
No shit.
And
Wow.
they have accommodations. I mean, the whole healthcare like service sector has been, I mean, decimated. Not just because of the whole jabba jabba, but a lot of them have retired. It is stressful. It is long hours, but there's very few nurses that are willing to go on the road to work for these remote hospitals
Yep.
that they need. And with the labor shortage, they have. I mean, one of my exes, on Facebook, she's like, she's up in Alaska and she's making $8,900 a month. It's a 3 month gig. But it's like you got to be kidding me. Like you are. She isn't even an RN. She's a radiology or an MRA or MRI tech.
MRA.
Yeah, right. But I'm like, you are like, there are nurses here where I live, and they're making maybe 80 to 90,000, and you're making, what is that, like 120, 130,000, and you're an MRI tech. Like, you went through 2 years of schooling, you went through maybe another 6 months for your MRI certificate. It blows my mind.
Well, more power to her.
Yeah, no, I mean, hey, I mean, she's a very attractive lady, and she's 32. Um, I'll never forget, like, she went through a bad breakup, and I sat down with her, my ex-girlfriend and I. She was like passed out, and so we had, like, a heart to heart, and we were out on the patio talking, and I'm like, what do you really want? Like, what is your ultimate end goal? And she's like, I want to have a family and kids. And I'm like, so how do you see yourself, what you've done in the past? Because I knew about her dating history. Like, how do you think that that's going to get you to where you want to be? And she wound up just leaving. And I was concerned because I went in to use a restroom, had to take my dog out for a walk, and came back like 10 minutes later, and she was gone. And I thought that she had, like, crawled up in this wooded area and back in my place, and she had passed out. And so I was searching all around for her and calling her name. And I mean, I felt somewhat responsible for her, even though I shouldn't be, or wasn't. Well, it turns out that she called an Uber, and she walked down the street to pick it up. And like the next day, I told Dawn, my ex-girlfriend, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, did you, like, I was looking for her for like an hour. Did you, like, call her out and say, why couldn't you have at least told Carl that, hey, I'm planning on leaving? And she was like, well, she's going through some very difficult times. I'm like, I mean, I'm sorry. And that was the last time I was like, okay, I'm done. Do what you want. I'm done dealing with your friends and what they want. Anyway, yeah. So now she's probably riding the cock carousel, getting dicked down by some PAs and some doctors up in Alaska, but not my problem. Not my monkey.
But yeah, you're right, man. Fucking traveling fucking nurses, whether it be male or female, they're fucking getting shit tons of fucking money now because of the shortage. Well, it's not that there's a shortage. I mean, up here, they let go of all of our, or a good percentage of our nursing staff because of the Pope, right?
Yep.
Just like what's going on in New York. And I mean, we have I think they said 13,000 just sitting. These are qualified people, years of experience, and they're sitting because you won't let them back on the job without the Pope. And they want to bring in fucking like 20,000 from other countries. Totally makes sense. Get trained professionals from your own country already here, sitting, but you're going to bring in people from other countries. Brand new in some cases, you know what I mean?
Well, I loved hearing that the state of New York has to rehire and pay back pay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Fucking right.
That's awesome.
Fucking right.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
They got to calculate in some percentage for overtime.
Oh, of course. Most
Oh, yeah.
nurses,
Yeah.
most nurses never work regular shifts, right? Uh, I mean, a regular shift is like a fucking, it's almost like a vacation for some of them. Pulling
Brandon,
doubles.
are you on a 34-hour reset?
No, but I only had 3 hours on my clock today.
Okay.
So hey, I on the driving topic, I found out something very interesting. Um, now that I'm listed as a diabetic, if I get into an accident here and my blood sugar is below normal, right? Below
That's your
the, I
fault.
think yeah, I believe it's point 0.4 or 0.6, that it's automatically my fault and they'll pull my license.
Fuck me.
Yeah.
No, I'm a monk.
Will you get hours back at a certain time tonight, Brandon?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
but I'm still not gonna fuck Indy.
Oh.
So Doug, you all ready to go down there?
I think so. I'm
Oh
here,
shit,
so-
that is coming up, isn't it?
yeah, that's
2 more
Monday.
days.
Monday. Yeah.
I got me a little 2004 Impala yesterday, and so now I've got 30 days to get it registered and get my license changed over. But so I got it insured. I got some progressive liability insurance, and so yeah, I think I'm ready to roll, Chris. I'm 2 miles from the job site. So I'm going to Google map it tomorrow and figure out where exactly I got to be on Monday.
Awesome. Awesome. I'm looking forward to it. I know I got the event going for Monday, but hopefully Monday night or Tuesday or whenever you get free again, we'll get some update on your first day.
Yeah, man. I went with Riggs Jr. today. We went to Palisade State Park in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. And dude, it was beautiful. We went, and after that, we went to a buffet. And man, I got so full. I ate way too much. But
That's
Dude,
funny for you.
I always wanted to see the Dakotas. All I got to do
I
was
never
like
want
get
to
a
go near
glimpse.
it. Oh, I never want to go near a buffet again. Ugh, no way.
no, I don't want to either.
Just gotta watch out for those golden corrals, because those ninjas. I'm telling you, man.
They're lurking
Suck
everywhere.
you in?
You have to avoid it.
No, I
Well,
would have loved to.
if you
come
go to the
fucking-
Golden Corral, go with Cowboy. He's a Golden Corral aficionado. He'll protect you from the ninjas.
He's an expert. Okay, I trust you.
Because when Kush went to visit Chicago, Cowboy took him to a Golden Corral. When I went to visit, I got to go to the Golden Corral. Bob says that Cowboy is like, every time they go out, he wants to go eat at Golden Corral. So
I mean,
Must
I
be
get
good.
it. Their mac and cheese, but their fucking steak is the fucking shittiest shoe leather ever. So
I like their salad bar.
yes, their salad bar is good, but for 13, I don't know what it is now. I mean, it used to be $13, but nowadays it's like what? Like I would rather go to an Asian all-you-can-eat buffet and eat like the faux crab. And I don't even like sushi all that much, but I like having the samples of whatever you want. But Golden Corral,
I agree
man,
I agree with you about going to the Asian buffet. Definitely.
These buffets are the worst. I know.
That's, I won't be able to
They're
do
never
that
clean.
anymore. So that's all sucks. Because you're kind of like yourself, Goobing. I prefer Asian buffets over everything else. But yeah, I can't do those no more.
I stayed in a place last night. Where was that, Hemi? It was like Wahlberg. And if I'd gotten there earlier, I could have gone up to a German restaurant that runs a buffet on Friday and Saturday nights. And they also have a band where they play German polka music until the wee hours of the morning. And it's a great
Germa
place.
polka.
Yeah,
German polka.
it's a
And
great
beer.
place to fucking drink.
That's what I was getting ready to say.
And the weather was perfect last night. It was about 70 degrees out, and the restaurant's on top of this hill, and it overlooks the north end of Austin, so you can see all the lights, and you're out there freaking polkaing and eating until you're so fat you can't
Oh
move.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You drink a little bit, dance a little bit,
You
eat
drink
a
a
little
lot of
bit.
it, yeah.
Yeah.
But since you're being active and you're eating the whole fucking time, you don't get fucking wasted.
Yeah.
That's a good thing right there. Oh man. Uh, but this little spot was really cool. It had a lot of old school, like I guess I don't know if it's memorabilia, but there's like all these old cars, and Riggs could tell more about that than I could. But it was like I felt like I walked in my grandpa's house. And I was like, man, this is great. Just cool shit to look at everywhere.
There's only
Great.
one diner. I've only been to one theme diner, and that was I think it was a 50s, what do they call it? Peppermint striper fucking kind of theme diner.
Yeah.
That's in West End Mall. And my God, dude, they made the fucking best burger I ever fucking had in my life.
Hmm.
And it was like a real fucking burger. You know what I mean? None of these fucking
Yep.
fillers and anything in it. They kept the fucking basic, but flavorful, and it was a great experience. But that's the only theme place I've ever been in, and I can't even fucking get back there. Can't find myself back in Edmonton for some reason.
Hey Doug,
Yes. Mm-hmm.
since you're on a railroad, can you give me a ride to near Portland?
I'll let you know.
They're having a meetup, and I just was wondering, could you grab a engine for like a weekend?
He's going to be a conductor.
Pick me
Yeah.
up in Indy, and then head to
I'll just
Portland.
have to learn how to drive it. Yeah, because I have to.
On the job training.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Hey Doug, you'll be able to smuggle us into carts now, right? Like
I
Yeah.
think so.
carts type of
Yeah.
I'll
Hey,
let
Doug.
you guys know on that.
Yeah. Hey. Wasn't there a movie with like Denzel Washington where you could totally do that?
That's amazing about Hollywood. Yeah, I'm very fortunate for this opportunity. And I was telling Riggs this today too. I was like, I couldn't be happier. I get to go learn how to drive, or I get to be a conductor, which helps the engineer. But then at some point, I'm going to learn how to drive this train. I don't know if I'm ready for it, but here I am.
Well, that's
So-
what I'm saying. If you need hours, we'll give you hours, bud. Just borrow one for a weekend.
Right.
Yeah.
We'll vouch for you, brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
And if we need to smuggle a few things across the border to come up visit me up
They don't
Yeah.
fuck with trains
that.
that much.
Yeah.
little
They don't-
hydrochloroquine, little ivermectin. Yeah, man.
Yeah,
I'm
some
getting all my beer
RPGs,
drinking in
and maybe
tonight.
a couple tanks.
I mean, we
need a
got
couple tanks, guys.
Brandon's on the semi transport. Doug's in the railroads. Come on.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna put the guns.
Well, actually, if I get about 3 days notice, I can have a passenger in here. Now you're gonna have to sleep on the top fucking bunk because I'm not giving up my bed to you.
No. That
Hey,
would be
Brandon,
fun.
we know how you love the bottom, so that's good.
Fuck you. But
No, that's where you want to be on that truck. My gosh, I mean, you must be doing really good at it, man. Like I sucked. It's like I was no good for that job, but
I'm more like the farm kids. I can pretty much fucking drive anything if you give me a minute.
well, I've decided that after I get done with a year of doing the OTR, I'm gonna go and make some big money in the oil fields. I'm gonna get my um,
Your
hazmat
hazardous, yeah.
and then go drive for a year or two in the oil field.
So
Yeah,
so
get
Brandon,
H2S and stuff too, I'm sure, down there.
hey Brandon, like one of the things that I totally respect, and like the fact that you're an ME and you're like, I can't go back into the corporate workforce anymore and deal with that. Like, the project managers that don't really know what the fuck that they're doing, or the oversight, or the expectations. And you're like, fine, you know what? I'm going to do my own thing. I will be my own boss. There was a buddy of mine that we were talking about. He's an attorney, not happy at all with what he's doing. And he's in the PNC area, which is a shitty area. I mean, yeah, they make money, but dealing with, lawsuits with car collisions and crashes and homes being burnt down, whatever. He's like, I just don't think I can do this for another 10, 15 years, man. I'm done. I'm like, there's a guy that I know from YouTube that, dude, he was a mechanical engineer and he just said, fuck it. I'm going to be a truck driver, and likely, Brandon, probably in 2 years, you'll be making what you were making in the corporate office.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Well, man,
I mean, congrats to you.
Actually,
they make more than
actually,
lawyers.
if I get the hazmat, I'm going to be making more than I was making.
More? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
in the oil field, everybody's paid more, right?
Yeah.
That's just a fact. You won't
and
find
free
jobs.
housing too. I mean, for
Well,
Yeah,
in some cases,
exactly.
if you're living on a camp and stuff, yeah.
yeah, it's going to suck, but
working on the oil rigs, man, like if you can get up into camp work and stuff like that, holy fuck, dude. In 3 to 6 months, you can come out. Like, I know guys that have come out of these fucking camp jobs, went through $900,000 on a fucking house.
Yeah.
There you go. Brand new house. That's mine now. 6 months. But now they got into some very unique positions, right? Like unique camps. We're talking like up near the Arctic Circle and shit, right? Where, like, it's big risk, big reward type of thing. But the amount of cash that they made and banked while being taken care of, like you said, you're in a camp, so they provide all the food and lodgings, right? Fuck, dude. And of course they couldn't drink because it's a dry camp and you're out in the middle of fucking nowhere. There's no beer delivery. You know what I mean? So they did great, man. They basically went in and worked 6 months and came out and bought a brand new home, and 6 months later, brand new vehicle.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't have a family to go home to, so fuck it.
Well, a lot of the guys, like I said, in the oil patch, the whole marriage thing generally doesn't work. Right. It just doesn't. It's almost like the army.
Mm-hmm.
The reason instead of like staying out at the homestead, I looked at what the inflation was doing and how the dollar is being devalued. Yeah. And when I thought I was going to retire, I basically have been retired since I started my own business. I had 20 times my annual salary in savings, and I still have that in savings, but I was looking at the numbers, and that's not going to last me past my 85th birthday.
Well, I mean, brother, I hope you make it that far. That's for sure.
My family is fairly long lived, so I have to plan for it.
Yeah, mine live long too. Mm-hmm.
Like my father's 87 right now, and he's going to live to be 97 at least, if not more.
Nice.
I don't know about my mom, but my dad is strong as an ox.
Yeah, he looked fairly healthy for that age. I didn't know he was that old, but yeah, He's fairly
Yeah.
spry looking. Jesus Christ.
So I mean, so Brendan, so all right, so your dad is like he's got great genetics. Like what's on the side of your mom's? And the other question I would say, if you've gone on to SSA.gov and found out what your monthly income would be, like if you've not done that, highly recommend everybody that's listening. They need to create an account that's in the U.S. Go on to SSA.gov, find out where their PIA is, because there are so many people that think I need to work until I'm 67 to get my full retirement age, and then they die like at 69,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
and they have like 1.2 million with a paid off home, and yet they're still worried about the fact that they don't have enough, and that's so that is just I just and of course when you go in and talk to financial advisors, they'll be like, why? I mean, they'll be, you need to have this amount in there. Why? Because they get an AUM percentage, your annual under management fee, and it pays them. So anyway, it's a huge passion of mine. There's a great guy, Heritage Wealth Planning. He wrote a book. You can retire on Social Security alone. All depends on your expenses. If you have a paid off home, if you're and what the highest payment out for Social Security is, I think, $3,400 a month. But most people think I'm going to be spending the same that I am right now. That's not the case. Like when you retire or as you get older, you spend less and less. So the 4% withdrawal, the Trinity study that was done, I don't know, multiple years ago. All right, that is true for a period of time, but once you hit 70, you're not traveling like you were. Anyway, I don't mean to hijack, but dude, I like if you have that like 6 times your income, depending on what your Social Security is and your expenses. I don't understand why you're working right now unless you're just bored. I get it.
Well, I want to build a shop so that I can indulge in some hobbies and do partial, have that as sort of an income as well.
Yeah, he's making a back plane for me.
Yeah,
you know,
ultralights for
I want to
the
build
future
ultralight
empire.
airplanes.
Ultralight Air Force.
Yeah, that's right.
So
Well, and I definitely think having like a purpose or having hobbies is so important. Like even after you retire. But I mean, I mean, you've worked with people. I have. They're like at 62, 63, stressed out as hell, and I'm like, dude, like unless you've been just a dumb fuck, you should probably have your home paid off. You
yeah,
probably have, at least an average, if not above average, Social Security. What the hell are you doing? I mean,
I'm completely debt free. Um, I own my property. Um, I've started on a home, but it's not finished. I got the foundation done. Um,
Twice.
but to get that all built, prices of construction materials have gone up tremendously.
shit.
yep.
It's it's at least 4 times, if not more expensive than I thought it was going to be to build. The the cost of some of the tools that I'm wanting to get, like I'm wanting to get a 3D metal printer and a 7-axis router. The price of those have all gone up.
7-axis?
Yeah,
Like a
7-axis.
CNC.
Shit.
That's a lot of axis.
Crap.
Well, he's going to be building some fucking super awesome fucking ultralights, all right? And their bombing capability is what we got to figure out.
Heavy takeoff weight. Now, are these
No,
going to
that's-
have in-air refueling capabilities?
No, the if you guys don't know about parts,
Is it going to have a vagina big enough to?
no, there will be no vagina Remember, I'm a monk, but an ultralight can weigh a maximum of 254. I mean, 245 pounds. It has a maximum speed of 50 knots, which is about 65 miles an hour in the air,
Well,
and
Too slow.
it's
think
got to
about
have
go
a
ahead.
pretty slow stall speed.
Think
No,
about
but
this,
It can
too
only
Brandon.
slow
carry
for the.
5 gallons of gas,
Oh,
so
damn, fuck.
It's going to be too slow for the modern aircraft to be able to touch my fighter pilots. So, you know,
well, depending
they'll
on what
just
you
zoom
build it
right
out
by.
of, the modern aircraft might not even be able to see it.
There you go.
Yeah, your radar
Even better.
profile will probably be nothing.
Undetectable. I'll have stealth ultralight.
Can it carry enough anthrax to like decimate the whole Canadian, Trudeau like collab?
Oh, sure.
Yeah, that wouldn't take much.
All right.
Anthrax is pretty potent, especially in
Just
air form.
I'm just dusting for mites. Don't worry about the little. Anyway.
There,
You can
there
you
she
can add
is.
some extra
There
weight
she
to the
is.
ultralight if you make it into a float plane. You can also add extra weight to it if you add in a parachute to safely float to the ground if your engine
Yeah,
cuts out.
we're gonna need.
Okay, wait a minute. 5 gallons of fuel?
Yeah, 5 gallons. That's it.
Approximately how many hours of flight is that?
It depends on the size of your engine.
Right, right.
I'm
I'm
going to
just
be
saying.
building. I'm gonna steal a design from Burt Rutan called the Easy, and that was actually a really fast plane, but it only had a 15 horsepower engine, and it would do 125 miles an hour.
Wow.
Later, brother Matt. Sorry, I was hoping to say hello to you finally, but next time.
All right, later, Matt. Good night. So I'm going to put some different wings on the Easy to satisfy the ultralight criteria,
The
and
easy.
I'm going to try and I'm going to try and get it so that I can make it road legal as well and drive it around like a motorcycle.
So, Brandon, do you have to register that with the FAA?
No, you do not. You don't need a
So,
pilot's license, and you don't need to register it. But you're not allowed to fly over any
above?
cities.
Okay.
You can't
Or
fly
above a
above
certain.
10,000.
Okay.
Can't fly above 10,500 feet, and you have to fly it during daylight hours.
Like
Well,
that
you
five
can't.
gallon, like who actually monitors that? I mean, if you don't have to register with the FAA, then who's the oversight aspect?
Well, you have to worry about airport inspections. If they bust
Okay,
you
but
for it, you are literally facing, a lifetime ban on flight, and they're gonna fucking hit you with some serious fines.
Okay.
yeah, but as an attack fighter, do I care?
Anytime that you land at a place where there's an FAA inspector, they can inspect you at will. They
Oh
don't
yeah.
need. They
Okay.
don't.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
But
You mentioned though that you could put pontoons on these things and land on lakes. I don't know if you know this, but most of Canada is little lake.
Yeah,
So I ain't planning
a
on landing
lot.
nowhere.
A lot of people do the pontoon thing, especially people that like to fish, like me. And
Hit me once
you,
a lake, brother.
yeah, I live right on a lake. Why not?
Uh,
Hey,
well,
like,
Emperor, real quick.
yeah, bro.
I don't think you was here in the beginning. I was walking through the liquor store, shocking, and I saw a 6 pack of Moosehead, and it said Canadian. I said, I'm getting
actually,
that in salute for my Canadian brothers. So I'm
Thank you,
drinking.
sir.
I'm drinking Moosehead Canadian beer in salute to all my northern brothers.
Well, thank you. But we don't even drink that up here anymore.
I know it tastes like moose piss.
Labatt, Labatt's Blue, man. If you want to be true Canadian, you got to drink Labatt's Blue or Molson Canadian.
That's what I
Or
was thinking as well.
Molson. Well, it
Molson
just
Canadian.
I live in a town of 836 people. Moosehead is probably a luxury.
Probably.
Do you guys remember Foster's?
That's especially, yeah, the big oil cans. Yeah.
I said, man, you had to like double fist that thing to drink it.
We
Best
cannot
thing about the
find.
Foster's cans is they were great for fixing your exhaust.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen Foster's on this side of the country, but I believe you can get it on the east side. Hemi might be able to check if he goes to a liquor store again. But hey, here's some news. I've actually started smoking pot to relieve my stress.
Good, man.
What? No, whoa, 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 whoa. Gamers against weed.
I know,
Gamers against
dude.
weed.
I take like one big puff off a joint. That's it.
Okay, you're pulling a Clinton on us.
Yeah, basically.
Well, Chris, I called you out. I'm like, dude, are you? Because I can occasionally hear you like spark something. So I just figured, dude, you're Canadian.
I'm a heavy cigarette smoker, bro.
Yeah. Well, I didn't realize that at the time, and I was like, man, I am so.
Hey,
freaking
Brandon, can you
jealous.
drop a link for Hemi?
Yeah, I'm doing it right now.
All right, you saw it.
I'm just
Sorry, what'd
old
you
and
say at the end
fucking
there,
slow.
Like I think like. Yeah, I don't know how much like you drink. Like I drink a fair amount, like a home brew, and so I've got it.
Yeah. Good night, Abe. We're probably going to go about another half hour here because I got to work tomorrow as well. So, but I figured
I don't
3 hours
drink at
would be
all.
a good stream.
I don't drink at all, but if you caught that post that I put in the fucking Genobi's channel there, apparently if you are diabetic and an excessive drinker, it helps lower your blood sugar. But if you're like just a social drinker, it actually raises it.
Really?
But yeah, if you're a hardcore alcoholic, like 12 beers a day, so basically if you're indie, you're fine.
Live long and prosper.
It's really like ketosis, like if you eat all meat, even though you would think that would raise your HDL, LDL, and but it does the opposite. Like you lose weight when you don't eat all those carbs.
That's why right now, like me, I am in a heavy state of ketosis without even trying.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I've tried the keto diet, I believe last year, and in 4 days of eating no carbs, I nearly went insane, right? I felt like I was going to vomit all the time, and I still wasn't in ketosis. But diabetes will put you in ketosis immediately, and that's why I've lost all the weight.
Damn.
You can even lose more weight if you have bad enough diabetes they have to cut your fucking leg off.
Well, that's just it. The sensation that I got, like while I was in bed, I would occasionally get a sensation like the front part of my foot, like all my toes and like halfway back down my foot, felt like it was in sand.
Yeah. Oh, diabetes plays hell on your circulatory system.
All right. Hemi, you're on.
Oh, how the mighty have fallen. This guy, holier than thou, you gamers against weed, and now he's smoking La Chiba.
I took one puff last night. I only started last night, and it's for stress.
It's a slippery slope.
I know. Next, I'll be doing cocaine off hookers' asses.
Look, there's nothing wrong with cocaine.
Yeah, I was going to say, nothing wrong with it. I agree with Doug. Blow off hookers' asses. Come on.
Yeah, not off a dirty ass, but yeah.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with coke.
No, Lisa's sister came out for her dad's surprise birthday party, which we just got back from. And they stayed here last night, and I was like, you know what? Maybe I'm gonna start. Like, I was gonna go get edibles and just take like small amounts of edibles, essentially, like one edible throughout the whole day type of deal, or maybe even 2 days, as see if it would help with like stress, right? But she was here last night, and she rolled up the fucking doobie, and I took big fucking hoot off of it, and I was totally blitzed out of my fucking mind for hours.
First one's free, kid.
First one's free, but no, it's okay. Our medical insurance covers $4,500 worth a year of medical marijuana.
No
Wow.
shit. Wow.
Yeah.
Hell, it's cheaper
So,
than
well,
prescriptions.
I'm not a big pill taker, and I don't like being fucking attached to anything like this. That's why, like, diabetes is not for me. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, I don't want to be attached to a fucking an insulin pump or a fucking insulin, this reader or monitor or whatever. That's not how I want to fucking live my life. So I'm looking at all the things with type 1. You can't do much about it, unfortunately. Like, type 1 is like, you can't, if you change your diet and stuff, you still need insulin, right?
Yeah.
Where type 2, if you can change your diet, lose weight, blah 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 blah, you can manage your diabetes that way.
Yeah. My
With
dad
type
did it
1,
that way.
yeah, with type 1, I'm literally fucking attached to this bitch. Right?
But Chris,
it goes where I go.
this is why I asked you, like, if you have no family history of it, it's just, I mean, type 2, yes, that's like that's environmental, that's your own personal choices. You're a fat fuck and
Right.
you've, eaten poorly. But type 1, it's just it's very rare. Not saying
Yeah.
that it couldn't
You either
happen, but like it's just, to me, it's just, if you don't have your grandparents have ever been diagnosed with that, then if it were me, I'd be like, I want to get a second opinion on that.
well, like you said, you can either consider it this way: you're either very old, or you're either very old for type 1 or very young, because it
Yep.
generally is something you get during childhood, right? So
Yep.
it's a genetic thing, right?
Yep. Yep.
Or it's something you get when you're very old and your body's starting to basically fail, right? So she's like, consider yourself in the middle, but pick whichever one makes you feel happy. But it's looking like it's all type 1. All the signs for type 1 are there.
So
And
have they done a liver functionality test to see how
no,
well
not yet.
your liver?
Pancreas. His pancreas is shot.
Oh, I thought it was
The
the
pancreas.
liver.
No,
No, the
pancreas
pancreas is what's
does
shot.
handles it. His pancreas is shot.
Okay. Okay.
And like I said, the signs, like the ketoacidosis or whatever it is, the one that's linked with diabetes, isn't a side effect of type 2 diabetes. It's only a side effect of type 1.
All right. Well, welcome Riggs to the stream.
What's up, brother Riggs?
What's up?
Hey, Riggs.
What's up, Doug?
What's
How's
up,
that
poopy
food
butthole?
coma going?
Do
Oh,
what
that's
now?
not Riggs.
I figured I'd throw a funny name up there. I could have left the icon I had on there, which was that big melanated fellow sitting on the edge of a bed with a smiley face covering his meat. I can't remember whose stream I was on, but I popped in there with that icon on, and they were like, "What the fuck?" Gotta mess with people every now and then,
Oh, yes.
Well, we talk about some nasty shit sometimes that brings people down, so we have to use comedy to lighten ourselves up, right?
Well, I tend to go too far and make everybody hurl, but that's my style.
Well, as long as you're not munging people, it's okay.
What you mean with Starburst?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, you gotta spice it up a little bit, right? You can't go full on El Natural. It tastes like tuna.
Oh, I regret even fucking mentioning it.
Well, I guess that's when I'm dealing with Polska's 90 proof Nancy. That's the tuna boat.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So how was it your night with Nancy?
Oh,
Well, I
I
suppose
said it
it'd be
smelled
like,
funny.
yeah, it smelled like you're sticking your dick in a tuna can that sat out in the sun for about 3 days.
Nice. Fresh.
Yeah, a little stale, little stiff, and generally smelled like an old tuna boat.
Oh my god, I feel like crap.
You're getting your shit figured out there, Mitchell?
Oh no,
Slowly.
it's kind of weird because okay, today I had to do the second recording of what a normal meal would be, right?
Right.
So I came home here at 2:30. I did my test to see what my levels were at. Based on the levels, I think I was at 23 or 25. So I took 3 units of insulin, had this meal, right? Had a coffee, waited for, I think it was like 45 minutes. Did the test again to see what I was at, and it
Right.
spiked up 27. I was like, okay, well, that's not too bad of a spike compared to what I had for a meal, right?
Right.
And
That's
this
what,
whole
3
night I've
points?
been, this whole night I've been over there fucking, checking it, and I ate a couple potato chips, right? Not a lot. I mean like 2 potato chips, and it spiked back up to fucking 27.
Jesus.
So I took
For 2
fucking 6
chips?
more. Yeah, I took 6 more
Damn.
units right there, right? And it only came down to 25. And this is fast acting insulin, right? So it's what you eat like half hour before or half hour after type thing.
So it's helping, but it's not
Well,
as
like
effective as you would think it should be.
yeah, like I mean, I should be between like the normal is what's the old saying? Between 4 and 8, feeling great is the rhyme that they had with it, right?
Also, you're off the deep end then.
Yeah, dude.
25, 27.
Well,
Hey
she
guys,
has. Sorry, buddy. Go ahead.
Yeah.
do you want to do something fun?
I don't want to look at your butthole. I'm good.
No, it's not my kind of deal. Do you want to go fucking raid Hermit?
Sure, why not?
All right, let me get the link here.
Anyway, as I was saying,
Let's do it.
yeah, when I get to 25 to 30, I'm supposed to go to the ER, right? So when I hit
So
27,
you're flirting with danger at this point.
yeah, when I hit 27,
That's
I
not
was
good.
like, fuck, I'm not going back to that hospital for another fucking 10 hours. I'm not doing it. So I fucking jabbed up, like I said, when I got over there and I had those couple potato chips and it spiked up to fucking 27, I jabbed myself with 6 more fucking units, so I was at 16 units today, right? And
what's the maximum they tell you that you're supposed to be using?
well, that's just it. There is no essential. Well, okay, according to their list, yes, there is a maximum. So
they're trying to establish a baseline.
Okay.
Yeah, they're trying to give me a baseline, but if I have to keep going with their baseline only, I'm going back to the emergency, right? But I don't want to do that. So I've been, like, when I got over there, I took 6 more units, which bumped me up to 16 units today. And I've only had 1 fucking meal.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
What the hell?
All right.
Hey, Brandon,
Right now, Scotty's
what saying are we doing?
Scotty's in chat right now.
Scotty's
Let's go in
chat?
there and say Scotty needs a perm.
Scotty
Or
needs
Scotty
a
needs an
perm?
afro. Yeah, Scotty needs an afro.
Scotty needs an afro.
So
Scotty
Brandon, which
needs an
one?
afro.
Like you posted two.
Well, the YouTube link.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So
Scotty needs an afro, correct?
Scotty needs an afro.
I'll lay down my 2 cents here.
The party, like it's one of the, it's a kind of, you leave it outside the house.
But yeah, on the upside, right now it looks like my numbers are coming down.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. I just did it.
Yeah, this is something you really don't want to play with. So I mean, check as much as you need to, kind of figure out where you're supposed to be at.
Well, like I said,
you don't want that shit going off the deep end. My stepdad is full on diabetic, and I'm surprised he still has his feet.
Well, when I went in there and I was at 48,
That's
I knew
that's damn near double.
Yeah. Well, the maximum for the chart is 21.
Oh, shit.
Damn.
And the thing is, my kid's uncle, right? He went in and when he was finally hospitalized, he was so high that it went over their chart. Like over their readers. The readers only go to fucking like 70 or something like that. He was up in like high 90s. The fact that he didn't die then was shocking. And they kept him in for 8 fucking days.
Jeez.
But I still can't get mine down below fucking double digits. I mean, I'm sitting at 17 when I took my reading there about 10 minutes ago. And that's like low compared to where I'm usually sitting.
Yeah, the shitty part about this is it really cramps down how much and what you can consume.
Oh,
whether it be food or drink. It really fucking saps it.
Like, here's something weird. After I took those 6 units, because I, lost control of my cravings, I actually had a piece of the birthday cake. And it hasn't skyrocketed.
That's fucking weird, man.
Yeah. Maybe there's less sugar in the birthday cake than would be in, like, say, half can of pop. I don't know.
Maybe you're just a freak of nature.
Yeah, maybe, but that piece
Entirely
of cake actually
possible.
didn't skyrocket. Well, I expected to come home and be like, holy fuck, okay, now I'm going to have to take like 10 units of fucking insulin to get over this cake. Seems to be dropping just fine. So I'm going to be monitoring it for the next couple hours, right? And I'm going to try to get as low as I can into, sitting at a steady, even if I'm in the double digits, I would like to see like 13 be the max. And then go to bed, right?
Mm-hmm.
But generally, I'm checking every hour, every 2 hours. Trust me, I'm keeping an eye on it because I'm learning, right? So I'm
drinking lots of
trying to
water.
figure it out. Oh yeah, still drink lots of water. Yeah, but the headache, man, is just fucking brutal.
Are you gonna? So is the reefer helping?
Well, I only had 1 dose last night, so I don't know. It didn't seem to help just yet.
Okay.
Allegedly.
I was pretty happy for a few hours.
Oh, absolutely. That
everybody said it was entertaining. Fucking amateurs.
Oh, me too. Me too. if I was to play with any of that today, I would be shot off into outer space for hours.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
If I were to smoke like the if I had smoked a full joint with the two of them, I would have been fucking like zombified.
I'm lightweight. I'm
Zombie.
extreme lightweight when it comes to the weed.
The marijuana weed.
Yeah. And I don't, it's great, but yeah.
Well, at least there's plenty of it here. I'll have no shortage if I decide to use it as fucking means for stress.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I always like the indigo, whatever the fuck. At least it gets you to sleep. Better
Yeah, I
take an
get some good sleep.
Ambien and all that other bullshit.
Well, man, and I have thousands of fucking seeds downstairs, right? Two kinds. I have an indica and I have a hybrid that's called, there's one called Green Monster and the other one is Train Wreck. The Train Wreck is the indica hybrid. And I grew a few of them. Fuck, they grow amazing and they smell amazing. They're sticky, ooey gooey as fuck, right? Like this is some primo bud.
They grow like weeds.
And yeah, they grow like weeds.
Quite
But
literally.
I tried growing them that one time, and I haven't tried to grow anymore. But maybe I should. Just that way, I have my own supply of what I like, right?
Too late this year, buddy.
No, I would grow inside. There's no problem. I grew through the winter the first time I grew them. They don't know the difference. But
But the
yeah, I
lights help
actually
keep
like
your house warm.
I like the contact high that I get from trimming. If I were to get high off weed, that's how I prefer to get high, is the contact high.
Yeah, if I went that route, I'd probably go with the edible shit. But
Yeah.
I still have a W-2 job, so I gotta behave.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, if it works for stress management, I'm willing to try it, but I don't want to go on like fucking any kind of antidepressants or fuck all like that. And my doctor the other day when we did our meet and greet, he asked a lot of personal questions about shit like that.
Well, it works for stress management until you're out of weed. Then you're stressed about fucking being out of weed.
Did he ask you how many times you spank it? Stress relief?
No, she didn't. She didn't ask that at all. But she asked about personal life, blah blah blah, right? It's like, yeah, I just try to deal with it as best I can and keep smiling through the day.
Well, Mitchell, you're getting to be about the age where you're going to have to get the old roto-rooter up the back door.
Hey, 40.
Yeah. Doug's in that boat, too. He's going to have to get the roto-rooter here.
I know.
Yep.
I'm glad I talked to a few guys that calmed me down about that whole scenario. I'll be all right.
I think they do what the camera instead of the old finger now, don't they?
I know they say that the night before is the worst part, but
oh yeah, total water cannon out of your asshole.
Yeah,
I will tell you.
Sounds lovely.
I will tell you this. Yeah, the prep is the worst, but like once you go in and have it done, you can understand why Michael Jackson loved that fucking drug. It's the same thing that he used to put you under. Like you're out. You don't know what's taking place until you wake up and you feel great.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, I can deal with that.
It's like a roofie.
What's it called?
God, man, I'm trying to remember.
Rufinol.
No, it's not a roofie. It's
No, this isn't one of your dates, Hemi.
I would have to go back and look it up, but I mean, yeah, like you'll take a grape liquid and like kaopectate, and it it's not fun. But when you get in there, do not worry or stress. Like your heart rate's probably going to be elevated, like when they have you put on the gown or whatever. But after that, they're like, you'll have the what do you call it? Not the PA, but the assistant
A nurse or what have you.
anesthesiologist, CNA, yeah,
Yeah.
the certified nurse anesthesiologist. You'll be like, she'll like, count back from like 10. You won't even get to 3, and you're like, you're out. I was stressed because I don't like that. I don't like anything up there, and with my prostate exam and um, the samples that they had to make, I was all awake for that. It was not comfortable at all, and so do not worry about it. It's easy peasy.
The only downside to this is you can no longer answer no to the question, have you been with another man? Because another man's had something of his body up your hoo-ha.
It's like,
Well, I think on that note, we're going to call it an evening.
Yeah, True Blood's got to get his rest. You gotta have your shut eye when you're operating that much tonnage.
Yes, you do.
What time you plan to roll out tomorrow, Brandon?
I set my clock. I was hoping to get going a lot earlier, but I forgot to put myself on sleeper. So it'll be 8 o'clock in the morning before I roll.
Oh, your time 8 a.m., right? So that's like
my time
7 a.m. for me. I'll still be sleeping, sorry.
I'll give you some good news before we go. I just did a ketone test on my pee. Yeah, you didn't know that, but I'm coming out of ketos.
Nice.
So
Cool.
Good.
So is your wiener checking out as far as the specs go?
No, yeah, that hasn't shrunk with my weight loss, but coming out of ketosis means that my body's not. It's actually burning the sugar now.
Well, actually, if he's losing body mass, then it should be getting bigger, right?
Well, it looks bigger.
Marijuana miracle.
Yeah.
Yeah, your fupa is getting smaller, right?
Thanks for having me tonight, Brandon.
Quick question.
All right.
Yeah, thanks, Brandon.
Ask it.
Would that keto or ketones test be effective in telling whether your body is burning fat or burning sugar? So that, like, say you can tell whether your body's in a consumption mode versus just kind of existing?
Yeah, well, that's why I've lost all the fat, because the cells have stopped using sugar as energy and they've switched over to using fat cells, right? But in this heavy ketosis state, if you don't keep up with the amount of fat that is needed, it'll also start eating muscle mass.
Yeah, if you don't, I think if you don't consume enough protein, it will eat muscle as well.
Yeah. So basically, I wasn't looking to I wasn't trying to be in ketosis, right? I didn't even know until a few days ago. But I've been in this
I don't know if I am or not half the time.
Well, do you have any ketone test strip?
No, I don't. I didn't know there was such a thing.
Yeah, you can order them on Amazon or find them in the pharmacy in some cases.
I'll have to look that up, because if I could tell, like, say if I eat, a measured out set, of food, and I'm trying to figure out what's going on with my body, because I don't know, like Hermit helped me out with the workout plans and whatnot, which I need to get back to it. But knowing what my body's doing while I'm just going about my day would help, so that, if I'm doing something that's hurting my weight loss deal, then I can, if I got a test or something that I can take real quick. And
the ketone strips keep track of about 6 hours or something behind. Okay. So it just measures it through your urine, right?
Right.
So you generally pee twice in 6 hours. So, you know, if you've eaten something and it's changed your ketone levels or what your body cells are using to actually, you know, for energy, you're going to be 6 hours behind. So you'll find out
I'll,
6 hours later.
I'll have to look into that because knowing what it's trying to do or what my body's doing would be very helpful in determining what I need to start doing or what changes I need to make to kind of get it in the burning mode. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, like I said, man, I tried to get on ketosis with a diet, and it
Yeah.
was fucking difficult. But with this diabetes, it threw me into ketosis hardcore,
Huh.
right? And then I literally started melting away pounds at a time. You know what I mean? Like it just started melting away. It's still, I can't say the keto diet doesn't work. It's just I don't know how sustainable it is,
Right.
right? So now,
I'll
Yeah,
look.
you're
I'll
still
look into it.
unbalanced. You're
yeah,
unbalanced.
it's hard to stay in ketosis too, right? Because it's not a normal diet. Let's face it, it's not a normal diet anymore. But if even with this diabetes, if I get my blood sugars now under control, now I have to watch out for fucking rapid weight gain, right? And if I blow
So
up the
no lasagna from Pop's X then.
no lasagna from nobody.
Oh damn. That's good shit too.
Hookers
All
and
right,
blow.
gentlemen.
Hookers and blow.
Brandon.
Yeah, we better let Brandon get his shut eye so he can be safe on the road.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, guys.
Thank you very much for coming, especially those of you all who stayed in the panel the whole time. I appreciate all of your words of wisdom, and it's been good hearing that our emperor is safe and sound. They didn't insert mind control probes into him.
Not that I'm aware of.
He was still probed. They just didn't leave him in.
Right.
They couldn't
They
keep
just-
me there.
Yeah, Shinobi snuck in while he was out and gave him a good probing.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey, Brandon,
All right,
thank you.
guys.
Thank you guys. I appreciate it.
Have a good one.
And we're going on the road about 8 o'clock tomorrow. Bye-bye.
All right.
But
See
Safe
you,
travels,
Brandon.
brother.
Thank you.